Chapter 51-44. Jiang Chen looked at Zhou Haoran with a smile. Increase the price? Increase the price, my ass. Do you think I'm that shameless? I've already been cheated by you twice. Do you still want to cheat me? There was once and twice, but there would never be a third or fourth time. Trying to cheat me? That's impossible. Zhou Haoran snorted coldly. This time he had learned his lesson. He didn't want to compete with Jiang Chen anymore. If he continued, he would only suffer a crushing defeat. Moreover, he didn't have many origin stones left. It was impossible for him to continue bidding. Without a strong competitor like Zhou Haoran, Jiang Chen's bid was no longer suspenseful. Although two people continued to raise the price, Jiang Chen once again set the price at 260,000 grade 9 origin stones. No one else raised the price. 260,000 grade 9 origin stones going once. 260,000 grade 9 origin stones going twice. 260,000 grade 9 origin stones going thrice. Sold. Congratulations, young Master Jiang. 260,000 grade 9 origin stones. I have obtained a celestial green monkey. Yun Duo smiled as she looked at Jiang Chen. Many people sighed. Jiang Chen had already cheated Zhou Haoran twice. No one wanted to be the second Zhou Haoran. The price of the Azure Monkey was at least 300,000 grade 9 origin stones, but no one wanted to be his stepping stone. If this guy bid randomly again, no one would be able to afford it. Zhou Haoran was a bit depressed. Why didn't he bid against him? If this guy bid, he definitely wouldn't bid anymore. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. He wanted to cheat Jiang Chen, but he didn't have the guts to do so. It seems like no one dares to challenge you. Chen Lu covered her mouth and giggled. Her beautiful eyes were sparkling. This time, Jiang Chen was truly stunned by her beauty. What are you looking at? What's there to look at? Chen Lu rolled her eyes at Jiang Chen, her face red. Since you don't want me to look, I'll go look at Miss Tang Wan. Jiang Chen shrugged. You dare. Chen Lu pursed her lips. The auction lasted for quite a long time. 300 items were also a very large project, but in the end, Jiang Chen did not find any more treasures that he was interested in. Next is the last auction item, which is also the highlight of this year's auction. The Water Chestnut Treasure Codex. After Cloud finished speaking, her face was filled with excitement. At the same time, there were quite a few people in the auction hall whose faces were filled with astonishment, causing an uproar to rise one after another. What? Water Chestnut Flower Treasure Book? How is this possible? You know about the Water Chestnut Flower Treasure Book? What is this thing? Why are so many people so shocked? You don't even know about the Water Triangular Flower Treasure Book? It is a mysterious treasure left behind by the Celestial Lord Ling Hua. It is said that when the Celestial Lord Ling Hua left the Sky Tyrant Starfield, she left it behind. Countless people are fighting for it and searching for it. To this day, no one has been able to unravel the secrets of the treasure. Water Chestnut Immortal Lord. You are so ignorant. She is second only to the Eternal Emperor realm. It is said that more than 2 million years ago, when the Water Chestnut Deity Lord left the Sky Tyrant Starfield for a higher-level starfield, he left this treasure for his descendants. However, to this day it is just a legend. No one knows if the Water Chestnut Treasure Book really exists or what it looks like. Never would I have thought that the treasure book would be in the hands of the HSBC auction house. The Celestial Lord Ling Hua was a person who made the entire Sky Tyrant Starfield go crazy. She was one of the most terrifying beings below the Eternal Emperor realm. When she left the Sky Tyrant Starfield, she had already reached a terrifying cultivation realm. Moreover, she was someone who made the entire Sky Tyrant Starfield tremble. How could she be simple? Jiang Chen looked at Chen Lu, who was beside him. Her face was flushed, and it was obvious that she was also very shocked and curious about the treasure book. Brother Jiang Chen, don't you know? The Celestial Lord Ling Hua is the legend of the entire Sky Tyrant Starfield. More than 2 million years ago, in that glorious era, the Celestial Lord Ling Hua shocked the entire Sky Tyrant Starfield with her own strength. She dared to chase after the Eternal Emperor realm as a level 1 woman. One can imagine how powerful she was. Before she left the treasure book behind. Many people have been searching for it for thousands of years. Who would have thought that the treasure book would appear here and be auctioned off? It's just too shocking. Chen Lu spoke without thinking. her eyes staring at the water chestnut flower treasure book. Is this 3-tripod flower treasure codex really that powerful? Jiang Chen asked. Chen Lu shook her head. You are not from Tian Chen Star, and you are not from the Sky Tyrant Starfield. You do not understand how terrifying the treasure book is. You do not know what kind of existence the celestial Lord Ling Hua is. She is like an inextinguishable god to us. Moreover, the things recorded in the water chestnut treasure book are things that we can benefit from for our entire lives. Chen Lu became more and more excited. Looks like this is a treasure, Jiang Chen said with a smile. Everyone had kept the water chestnut flower treasure codex a secret. Everyone was shocked and shocked. It was imaginable how valuable this treasure was. What kind of treasure would be left behind by an expert who was second only to the Eternal Emperor realm? Jiang Chen was also very curious. Although he didn't know what was inside the book, it seemed like he would have to take part in it. This time, it seemed like there would be a lot of people who wanted to get their hands on the book. Seeing the enthusiasm of the crowd, Tang Wan was secretly gratified. This time, the HSBC auction house had really taken out their trump card, and this treasure was completely extraordinary. Even Tang Wan was extremely curious. However, there were some things that didn't belong to her. Even if she had the water chestnut treasure book, she couldn't open such a magical treasure. Therefore, Tang Wan had no choice but to sell it. She needed a large amount of dawn stones to accumulate. Therefore, there was nothing she could do about it. She had no choice but to sell it. She needed a large amount of dawn stones. If she did not sell it, the treasure book would be worthless to her. However, if she sold it, she would be able to exchange it for countless dawn stones. Tang Wan was clear about such a transaction. Hurry up, we can't wait. Ha ha ha, hurry up and auction it. That's right. We have already obtained our trump card. What is there to hesitate about? I have been waiting for it for a long time. This time, the HSBC auction house has really put in a lot of effort. I have to give it to them. Isn't that so? This time, we have to take a good look at exactly how terrifying this water chestnut flower treasure codex is. Chapter 51-45. Everyone couldn't wait any longer. The whole place was filled with enthusiasm. Roars and roars resounded through the clouds. This was the result that Tang Wan wanted. This would also make countless people excited. This way, the water chestnut flower treasure book would definitely be auctioned off at an unprecedented price. Sigh, what's the point of being excited? Do you think ordinary people like us can bid for the water chestnut flower treasure book? That's true. We're probably just here to watch the show. I think the starting price of the water chestnut flower treasure book won't be lower than 2 million. 2 million? I think it'll be at least 3 or 4 million grade 9 origin stones. This is beyond our knowledge. Normal experts aren't even auctioned off by the HSBC auction house. We don't understand the happiness of the rich. What's the point of saying all this? We don't have the ability or money. We can only work hard and forge ahead. In the end, we can only rely on ourselves. If you can't afford an item with a clear price, who can you blame? Although many people present knew that this auction wasn't simple, almost no one could actually participate in the auction. Everyone could imagine that the water chestnut flower treasure book would definitely fetch a terrifying price. Big brother Jiang Chen, if you have enough origin stones, you must bid for the water chestnut flower treasure book. It's definitely a rare treasure. You can't buy it even if you have money. Even I am quite surprised by the HSBC auction house's actions. It's unbelievable that they're willing to auction the water chestnut flower treasure book. Moreover, there are definitely a lot of people who are eyeing the water chestnut treasure codex. Chen Lu grabbed Jiang Chen's hand tightly. She knew that she definitely didn't have enough origin stones to bid for it, but big brother Jiang Chen might have a chance. I'll do my best, Jiang Chen said. With so many people coveting the water chestnut flower treasure book and Chen Lu trying to dissuade him, it seemed like he had to participate in the final auction. Everyone, please be quiet. I will now announce the auction of the last item, the water chestnut flower treasure book. The starting price is 5 million grade 9 origin stones. Cloud's words caused the crowd to quiet down. However, her words once again caused the crowd to reach a climax. 5 million grade 9 origin stones. This was just the starting price? Time to slip away. At this price, 99% of the people present had already flinched. 5 million grade 9 source stones. Even among star level 9 experts, not many could take out so much money. Most of the people were refunded, and only a small number of people could participate in the auction. 5 million? Damn it, it seems that my estimation was wrong. I thought that starting at 2 million was already amazing. You should know what kind of existence the water chestnut immortal lord was. How could her legacy be bad? That's true, but the price is too ridiculous. We don't even dare to think about it. Actually, you're wrong. This price is already very, very low. It's more than worth it. I just don't know how much it will fetch in the end. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the water chestnut flower grimoire. The auction was finally about to begin. Each increment must be no less than 500,000 grade 9 origin stones. Let's begin. Everyone, please show your sincerity and show your price. As long as your price is high enough, you can easily take the water chestnut flower grimoire home. After Yudwa finished speaking, the crowd became noisy. However, many people were already prepared. There were definitely many rich people present. This price should scare off many people. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Sigh, it's indeed a price that I don't even dare to look at. Chen Lu's mouth twitched. There was no doubt that she had already been kicked out of the auction. She didn't even have the right to bid. 5 million. 6 million. 5 million. 7 million. 8 million grade 9 origin stones. The price of the auction rose rapidly. Jiang Chen was also very excited. In the blink of an eye, the price had reached 12 million grade 9 origin stones. It seemed like the number of origin stones in his pocket was not enough. Tens of millions of grade 9 origin stones were only enough to buy him some loneliness. Jiang Chen couldn't help but shake his head. Weren't these fellows a little too ruthless? As expected of the wealthy people of the Great Tang, quite a few people were still bidding for tens of millions of origin stones, and the price had never stopped. Many of them were staring fixedly at the water chestnut flower treasure book, looking as if they were determined to get their hands on it. 13 million grade 9 origin stones. A middle-aged man in a blue robe calmly said. It's third uncle. Zhou Heiren's eyes lit up. He hadn't expected his third uncle to also come. Moreover, it seemed like his third uncle was also very interested in the water chestnut flower grimoire. Zhou Lifan, it seems like you also want the water chestnut flower grimoire? Why don't you give it to me? I'll definitely give you a big gift when we get back. Ha ha ha. The other man also laughed and said, then immediately called out a price. 14 million grade 9 origin stones. Wu Xiaohua, this isn't your territory. You can't steal what I want. Why don't you take a step back and I'll give you a big gift when we get back? Zhou Lifan sneered. As the second in command of the Zhou clan, he was also aiming for the water chestnut flower grimoire. It was obvious that not even Zhou Lifan had the funds of tens of millions of origin stones. He had come here on behalf of his older brother, Zhou Haoren's father. Even for the Zhou clan, 10 million origin stones was not a small sum. It seems like you want to fight with me to the end. Zhou Lifan, think carefully. Do you have the confidence? Wu Xiaohua's expression chilled as he snorted. To be able to sit here and bid. What do you think? Zhou Lifan calmly said. 15 million grade 9 origin stones. Let me join in as well. I wonder if the two of you would be willing? A beautiful woman with an enchanting figure covered her mouth and giggled as she casually called out 15 million grade 9 origin stones. Waves of excitement rose among the people present, causing everyone's hearts to tremble in fear. The price kept increasing, and now it had already tripled. Zheng Meili, don't be so ungrateful. Isn't your Zheng clan expanding right now? Are you sure you can afford so many origin stones? Wu Xiaohua narrowed his eyes. This amount of money is nothing to our Zhang clan. Why don't we compete and see whose leg hair is thicker? Zheng Meili's brows danced with delight. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, and her expression was enchanting. Neither Wu Xiaohua nor Zhou Lifan dared to underestimate her. What a good water chestnut flower grimoire. 3 of the 4 great clans have come. The Zhou clan, the Wu clan, and the Zheng clan are all participating. It seems like today's auction won't be fun. Chapter 51-46. Then let's see how they perform. Jiang Chen shrugged. I don't have that many origin stones on hand right now. It seems that we have no fate with the water chestnut flower treasure book. Jiang Chen's eyes flickered, but he was in no hurry to participate. It seemed that the Great Tang's 4 great clans were also participating, and their struggle was bound to be very intense. A mountain cannot hold 2 tigers, and these people were all at loggerheads. There was no need to create unnecessary misunderstandings. Jiang Chen only needed to sit back and watch the tigers fight. Looking at Chen Lu's disappointed expression, Jiang Chen had a playful smile on his face. Until the very last moment, no one knew who would be the winner. That's too exciting. He. Although I'm not the one bidding, I'm also excited. The 4 great clans are truly rich. That's right. 10 million grade, 9 origin stones as if they're free. The boldness of the 4 great clans is indeed not something an ordinary person can compare to. If this continues, I don't think it'll be difficult to break through the 20 million barrier. Then we can only wait and see. This sort of thing can only be encountered by chance, and it's very likely to be an unimaginable inheritance. For the great clans, it's especially important. The water chestnut flower immortal lord is a true expert. Many people yearned for it, but they could only stay away from the water chestnut flower treasure book. It was not something that the poor could imagine. 16 million. Then let's see who will have the last laugh. Zhou Lifan's expression was calm. 16 million grade 9 origin stones was already a very high price, but it was clear that the Wu and Zhang clans did not intend to let it go. The price would only continue to rise. 17 million. Zhang Meili smiled. She gently played with her multicolored fingernails. She had an enchanting expression on her face, causing countless people to feel carefree and relaxed. Such a woman was like a blue enchantress, terrifying people's souls. Many people were bewitched by Zhang Meili. As expected of the Zhang clan's heroine, but this is not your battlefield. 18 million grade, 9 origin stones. Wu Xiaohua was also getting more and more excited. The fight between the 3 of them was very exciting. The number of people's adrenaline kept rising. The happiest person was Tang Wan. A short while later, the price doubled once again, reaching 26 million grade 9 origin stones. At this time, Zhou Lifan and the other 2's faces were no longer calm. If this continued, the result would be unimaginable. 27 million. The 2 of you, if you continue to shout like this, there's no meaning in it anymore. Leave this thing to my Zhou clan. We will not neglect you in the future. I, Zhou Lifan, will remember this kindness in my heart. Zhou Lifan's voice was solemn as he said solemnly, No. I don't think the Zhou family's sincerity is enough. Let me do it myself. Wu Xiaohua said with blazing eyes. 28 million. Wu Xiaohua gritted his teeth. This was also his last bid. If the price could not be stabilized, he would not have the strength to continue bidding. Nearly 30 million grade 9 origin stones was enough to nurture many people. This was the highest authority that the clan head could give him. Exceeding 30 million grade 9 origin stones would cause his clan to suffer huge losses or even stop operating. Ordinary star rank experts would be considered wealthy if they had a few 100,000 grade 9 origin stones. Those with a few 100,000 grade 9 origin stones would be considered wealthy. Those with over 1 million grade 9 origin stones were extremely rare, and those with over 10 million grade 9 origin stones were 1 in 10,000. It was not that the 4 clans could not take out 30 million grade 9 origin stones, but even if they did, it would cause their clans to fall into a passive position. Perhaps they could take out 50 million grade 9 origin stones with the entire clan's strength, but it would cause the clan to fall apart. What was the use of that? 30 million grade 9 origin stones was already the limit for every family clan. 29 million. Zhou Lifan made his last bid. This was also his limit. The 3 of them looked at each other in rage. But the auction house was even crueler than the casino. Without money, one could only stare at one's inadequacy. No matter how good the item was, it was impossible for one to obtain it. As 3 of the Great Tang's 4 great clans, their strength was almost equal. 30 million was their limit. It was almost impossible for anyone to take another step forward. The atmosphere in the auction house was getting more and more intense. So many grade 9 origin stones was simply outrageous. In the VIP section, Gong Lianqing respectfully stood at Tang Wan's side, his face also filled with shock. I really didn't expect young lady to sell this water caltrip treasure tome for such an astronomical price. The last time it was sold for tens of millions, It was for a grade 10 pill. But at that time, Master was personally presiding over the auction. How many years has it been? Gong Lianqing said with a sigh. Yes, how many years has it been? 26 million grade 9 origin stones. But that pill was only a 4-line pill. If it was a 10-line pill, I don't think Father would have sold it. Tang Wan shook her head with a smile. But this water caltrop treasure tome seemed to have broken through its previous limit, surpassing 30 million grade 9 origin stones. 30 million. As soon as he finished his words, someone bid a high price of 30 million. However, this person was neither from the 4 major families nor Jiang Chen. He was a black-clothed man. No one could see through his cultivation base at all. Tang Wan frowned. This black-clothed man was completely shrouded in a black robe. Even she couldn't see through him. Who was he? Zhou Lifan and the other two clenched their teeth and looked at each other. They chose to remain silent because they no longer had the right to continue bidding. The auction house became extremely quiet. 30 million grade 9 origin stones. This was an insurmountable peak. The black-clothed man instantly became the center of attention, but no one could tell who he was. It seems like the 4 great clans have all admitted defeat. They don't dare to continue bidding. That's right. Ha ha ha. But it seems like this black-clothed man is finally going to make his move. 30 million. I believe no one has bid higher than this price, right? No one has bid after so long. It seems like this water caltrop treasure tome is going to go to this black-clothed man. I'm so envious. When will I be able to have this kind of elegance? Countless people were intimidated by the black-clothed man's wealth. They could only silently praise him. 32 million. Just when everyone thought that the black-clothed man would be able to take the crown with a bid of 30 million, another bid was heard. It's him. He finally called out a price. Chapter 51-47. Jiang Chen's ability to take out 10 patterned great rejuvenation pills at once was mysterious to Tang Wan. However, she didn't know Jiang Chen's identity. One thing was for sure though. He definitely didn't lack money. How could such a person not be tempted by the water caltrop treasure book? It turned out that Jiang Chen had been waiting all along. A true expert only needed to make the final call. Evidently, Jiang Chen had been waiting for this final opportunity. After confirming that no one else was bidding, the black-robed man was his only opponent. Even Chen Lu was shocked when Jiang Chen called out his bid. Big brother Jiang Chen, you're actually so rich? You're still complaining about being poor to me. You're really too evil. Chen Lu stared at Jiang Chen in shock. Even if I don't have money, I still have to bid a little louder. I can't make a fool of myself. Jiang Chen chuckled. He didn't have that much money, but the great rejuvenation pills in his possession were a huge fortune. That was why he was so fearless. 33 million. The black-robed man glanced at Jiang Chen and called out again. After all, he had also come for this treasure, so he couldn't possibly remain silent. Even if someone called out too high, the two of them would definitely be at loggerheads. 35 million. Jiang Chen was brimming with confidence. Although he didn't know what secrets the water caltrop treasure book held, as the water caltrop immortal lord, an existence second only to the eternal emperor lord, her inheritance couldn't be a pile of trash, right? Seeing Chen Lu's excited expression, he felt that it would be worth it even if it was just for Chen Lu's smile. Perhaps this was what it meant to throw away 1,000 taels of gold for the sake of a beauty. However, Jiang Chen didn't care about any of this. Friend, how about giving the water caltrop treasure book to me? I'll give you 2 million grade 9 source stones as compensation. The black-robed man glanced at Jiang Chen and spoke indifferently. However, many people's jaws dropped. Was there such a thing? However, obtaining 2 million grade 9 origin stones for no reason at all was definitely a profitable transaction. If I had known earlier, I would have gone to bid as well. Ha ha ha, isn't that like earning 2 million for free? Who do you think you are? You're courting death if you bid recklessly. Do you think the HSBC auction house will let you leave so calmly? Exactly. In your dreams. Do you think that 2 million grade 9 origin stones are that easy to earn? This Jiang Chen does have some ability. It seems that his previous challenge to Zhou Haoren was not groundless. Many people were looking forward to it. The final battle between Jiang Chen and the black-clothed man had already made everyone clench their fists and watch nervously. Does this guy really have so many dawn stones? Others might have believed him, but Zhou Haoren's heart was still beating like a drum. He felt that this Jiang Chen was just using his connections to intimidate others. How could he possibly have so many origin stones? This brat most likely didn't have any money and was just randomly bidding. Zhou Haoren hated Jiang Chen to the bone. Naturally, he didn't want Jiang Chen to obtain the water chestnut treasure book. If that was the case, he would probably be even more difficult to deal with. Zhou Haoren had already made preparations to strangle Jiang Chen in the cradle. Once he left the HSBC auction house, he would definitely not let him off. Don't you think 2 million grade 9 origin stones is too little to bribe me? Jiang Chen said with a smile. All right then, 36 million. The black-clothed man said coldly. This guy refused a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. At this moment, Tang Wan was also quite curious. She whispered to Gong Lianqing, who was beside her. Go and find out who this black-clothed man is. Yes, young Mississippi. Gong Lianqing hurriedly went to investigate the black-clothed man's identity. However, the battle in the auction house was still ongoing. Moreover, it was a display of sharpness that made people's hearts tremble. 38 million. Jiang Chen was still calm and unruffled, but the black-clothed man's eyes were getting colder and colder. Although Jiang Chen couldn't see his face clearly, he could see that his eyes were extremely angry and ugly because he had blocked his way. 40 million grade 9 origin stones. The black-clothed man called out again. Each time it was 1 million. This time, he directly raised the price by 2 million. He wanted to show his strength to Jiang Chen and hoped that he would back off. 40 million. Sigh, this water chestnut treasure book is too exciting. 40 million. That's 40 million grade 9 origin stones. I can't imagine. Who is this black-clothed man? Even the 4 great clans have to concede defeat. He is still struggling with Jiang Chen. Moreover, this Jiang Chen is a latecomer. He isn't a member of the 4 great clans. We don't understand the world of the rich, but the HSBC auction house will not let them do as they please. There must be a guarantee for such a huge sum of money. That's right. Those who have dared to cause trouble at the HSBC auction house have all died a horrible death. The crowd couldn't contain their excitement. 40 million had once again crossed an unimaginable threshold. Who is this guy? Do you know him? Zhou Lifan transmitted his voice to his eldest nephew, Zhou Haoren. I don't know, but I'm sure he won't be able to escape from me. Don't worry, third uncle. Once he leaves the HSBC auction house, I'll make him pay for it. Zhou Haoren sneered and said with an icy look in his eyes. It seems like you are determined to get it. However, I like it too. Let's just take what we need. 42 million. Jiang Chen's face was calm. His calmness was the most attractive thing. He's too handsome. If I can marry such a handsome man, I'll be satisfied for the rest of my life. That's right. This is a real man. I love him. I must find him and see who he is. Take a look at how outstanding the woman beside him is before you say anything. I've heard that she's the princess of one of the 3 great powers in the western border. Don't be so narcissistic. He won't like mediocre women like you. Jiang Chen's sharpness made all the women present scream. Who wouldn't like a man who threw his money around? Who wouldn't want to raise their status if they followed such a man and cultivated for the rest of their lives? I'm giving you face but you don't want it. I'm taking it. 43 million. The veins on the man's arms bulged. He clenched his fists tightly. He was about to reach his limit. If this continued, the book would really be taken away by someone else. Let's see who will have the last laugh. Whoever is richer will get the Water Chestnut Flower Treasure Codex. Jiang Chen was as calm as ever. It was as if someone else was paying for these origin stones. He wasn't worried at all. 45 million. Jiang Chen's bid reached new highs again and again. The hearts of the people present were beating violently along with him. 46 million. The man in black shouted again. However, this time, he felt as if his body had been hollowed out. He didn't expect the competition to be so fierce. The price had reached more than 40 million. It was too exciting. 50 million. Jiang Chen said calmly. At this moment, the whole place was dead silent. 50 million. That was 50 million 9th grade origin stones. Moreover, it was real money. Who wouldn't be tempted? Who wouldn't be shocked? Tang Wan's eyes were burning with passion. What a good Jiang Chen. He really opened her eyes. This guy was too exciting. Even as the person in charge of the HSBC auction house, Tang Wan was full of admiration when she looked at Jiang Chen. 50 million 9th grade origin stones. What kind of concept was that? Even for the current HSBC auction house, it was a large part of their liquid funds. Moreover, it couldn't be all of their cash flow. However, the price was real. Tang Wan didn't expect Jiang Chen to be so rich. Even if his family had a mine, he shouldn't be so extravagant, right? Chapter 51-48. This is crazy, this is crazy. This price is too ridiculous. Is this the life of the rich? Damn, this is too damn satisfying. I never even dared to think about it in my entire life. 50 million. My God, that's 50 million grade 9 origin stones. I heard you. I'm not deaf. Holy shit. How many origin stones is that? It's probably enough to crush me to death. Countless people were cheering crazily. 50 million. Not only the audience, even Tang Wan was excited. She had never auctioned anything at such a high price before. Jiang Chen had brought her auction to a new high. This man was really her lucky star. She had to admit that Jiang Chen was her lucky star. In the Great Tang there were no more than 4 people, no more than 4 clans that could take out 50 million grade 9 origin stones. Even those 4 great clans would only be able to gather around this amount of wealth. Jiang Chen's appearance had caused everyone to look at him in a new light. This sort of legend was someone they should admire even more. If you had enough origin stones, you would be able to stand at the peak. If you had enough strength, you would be able to see even further. The current Jiang Chen was the highest mountain in their hearts, unreachable and worthy of worship. Chen Lu's eyes were already filled with little stars. Big brother Jiang Chen had always been her role model, and this time, he had shocked countless people. He had swept through the Great Tang without equal. Who wouldn't like this sort of man? Countless women had looks of worship on their faces, wanting nothing more than to throw themselves into his arms. How could such a man be weak? No wonder he could contend against the Zhou clan, one of the 4 great clans. In his eyes, Zhou Haoren wasn't even worth a fart. Now it seemed that he didn't even care about 50 million origin stones. This sort of boldness was not something that just anyone could possess. The black-clothed man's face was gloomy as he silently stared at Jiang Chen. After a long while, he slowly retreated and left the auction house. However, the coldness in his eyes caused Jiang Chen to frown. This fellow clearly wasn't going to let this matter rest. Damn. He actually managed to pull it off. Zhou Haoren was even more enraged. His eyes were dark. Jiang Chen had been so ruthless with him that he had cheated him again and again. In the end, Zhou Haoren didn't even dare to bid, causing him to lose all face. In the past, he could do whatever he wanted in Great Tang. But this time, he was actually disgusted by this guy. So many people cheered for him. So many people went crazy for him. That was Zhou Haoren's dream. However, it was a pity that he didn't have the courage to do so. Even if his father was here, he wouldn't spend 50 million grade 9 origin stones to buy the water chestnut treasure book. If he did, his family would probably run out of resources. Zhou Haoren had now regarded Jiang Chen as a thorn in his side, and he wished he could pull out his tendons and peel off his skin. But now, he had become the clown of the auction, allowing this guy to stand on a lonely peak and be respected by others. We'll settle this score slowly. You want to steal my woman? Dream on. If I can get you to take even half a step out of the Great Tang, I, Zhou Haoren, will be your grandson. Zhou Haoren coldly snorted and left with a flick of his sleeve. The cheers and howls of the crowd finally receded. Jiang Chen's figure was like that of an immortal god from the 9 heavens. This was the power of money. Even in front of countless cultivators, money could still sway anyone. Money could make even the devil turn millstones. This had always been the case. I declare that this year's annual auction will end here. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Cloud said with a smile as she bowed to the audience. Jiang Chen naturally did not leave. At this time, Tang Wan had personally come to the box to welcome Jiang Chen. This was a true diamond member. Tang Wan's appearance made Chen Lu jealous. This woman was now looking at big brother Jiang Chen with a covetous gaze. Mr. Jiang Chen, congratulations. 50 million for the water chestnut treasure book. I truly didn't expect you to be so rich. 50 million grade 9 origin stones. I am indebted to Mr. Jiang Chen's favor. Tang Wan covered her mouth and smiled, her eyes sparkling as she gave a slight nod. I don't have that many origin stones, Jiang Chen said bluntly. Suddenly, the corner of Tang Wan's mouth moved slightly. You don't have that many origin stones? Isn't he here to cause trouble? Although Tang Wan was somewhat puzzled, she knew that with Jiang Chen's status, he would definitely not come here to cause trouble. Then Mr. Jiang Chen, what do you mean? Tang Wan pondered. Can I use my elixir to exchange for it? I won't let you suffer a loss. Jiang Chen said with a smile. 50 million origin stones for elixir? How many elixir would that cost? Tang Wan was a little hesitant. She found it hard to believe. Unless he could take out a few dozen 10-rune Great Huan pills. That seemed to be acceptable to Tang Wan. However, how could there be so many 10-rune Great Huan pills? Like jelly beans? It was absolutely impossible. However, Tang Wan felt that Jiang Chen was not an irresponsible person. Since he had made a bid, he was definitely not joking. He must definitely be responsible for his words. If the auction kept meeting such people all day long, then there was no need for it to be held. Mr. Jiang Chen, please speak your mind. Tang Wan said. 50 10-rune Great Huan pills. After saying that, Jiang Chen flipped his hand and took out 5 jade bottles. Each jade bottle contained 10 10-rune Great Huan pills. At that moment, Tang Wan was really stunned. She stood rooted to the ground and could not speak for a long time. 50. Damn. 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 Even though Tang Wan was a very gentle woman, she could not help but feel excited and almost blurted out. What kind of expert was this? He could refine 10-rune Great Huan pills like jelly beans? Were they almost like cabbages now? However, Tang Wan was very clear that as long as there was a limited supply, these 50 Great Huan pills could be auctioned off in 50 years. It would not take too long. Moreover, the value of each Great Huan pill would increase by at least 50%. Not to mention how much she could sell them for. These Great Huan pills were definitely worth 50 million 9th grade origin stones. Tang Wan was extremely shocked. What kind of person had she encountered? No, she must tie him down firmly. This time, Tang Wan knew that she had to use all her strength to help Jiang Chen find his son. If she wanted to tie him down or make him establish a good relationship with her, his son was the only clue. Mr. Jiang Chen is too straightforward. Ha ha ha. I am convinced. I will accept these 50 Great Huan pills. The water chestnut treasure book is yours. Tang Wan's eyes shone brightly. Who would not like a man like this? Chapter 51-49. Tang Wan handed the book to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen took a look but didn't find anything strange about it. However, since it dared to sell it at such a high price and had so many people fighting over it, it was definitely not an ordinary item. To Jiang Chen, 50 great rejuvenating pills was just a drop in the bucket. It wasn't worth mentioning. There was nothing he could do about it. Money couldn't buy what he liked. Tang Wan regarded the 10-vein Great Recovery Pill as a treasure. But what Jiang Chen cared about the most was the book. He hoped that it wouldn't disappoint him. No one was at a disadvantage. Everyone was just taking what they needed. This water chestnut flower treasure codex was worthless to Tang Wan, but its reputation was worth 1,000 taels of gold. As for whether they could obtain any treasures from it, that would depend on their own luck. However, this 10-vein Great Recovery Pill was an earth-shattering treasure to their auction house. Tang Wan knew that it wouldn't be easy to tie down Jiang Chen. She had to do something. Mr. Jiang Chen, I know that you care about your son. Trust me, I will give you an answer within 7 days. Before Jiang Chen could say anything, Tang Wan had already made her stance clear. She wanted Jiang Chen to rely on her because she was the #1 existence in the Great Tang. This was her only chance. She had to strike first. Although Tang Wan was utilitarian, this was how merchants were. There was no problem with putting profit above all else. Her greatest dream was to quickly find news of Jiang Chen's son. This was her trump card. Okay, I'll go back first. I'll be waiting for your good news. Many thanks. Jiang Chen clasped his hands and left the auction house. Okay, I'll see Mr. Jiang Chen off. Tang Wan had a graceful figure. She twisted her waist and walked with light steps, a smile on her face. What man wouldn't like such a woman? In the entire Great Tang, Countless people regarded Tang Wan as their dream lover. After Jiang Chen and the others left the auction house, Tang Wan's face turned grim and callous. This kind of woman was the epitome of a murderous and strong woman. Old Gong, find everyone in the black market and find Jiang Feng's whereabouts. Pay any price for his son. Tang Wan's voice was cold and stern. Gong Lianqing's heart skipped a beat. He had never seen such a terrifying and serious side of the Mississippi. Her eyes were extremely calm. Gong Lianqing's heart was also incomparably shocked. It seemed that the young miss was serious this time. Is this Jiang Chen really worth Mrs. treatment? Gong Lianqing whispered. There are some things that we need to see the essence of. Jiang Chen, I must keep him here. Otherwise, I'll see your head. Go, don't delay my business. 7 days. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. No matter what, I want to know about him. Otherwise, I'll see your head. Tang Wan's words sent a chill down Gong Lianqing's spine. Yes, yes, yes. I'll do it now. Gong Lianqing hurriedly accepted the order and left. The things that the HSBC auction house wanted to know wouldn't take more than 3 days. He had to handle this matter perfectly. Otherwise, the young lady would keep her words. It wasn't impossible for him to lose his head. After finding a quiet courtyard, Jiang Chen and Chen Lu finally rested. However, on the way back, Chen Lu was unhappy. Jiang Chen knew that she must have been suppressed by Tang Wan's aura. This woman is a vixen. I think she's trying to hold you back. Big brother Jiang Chen, you can't fall into her trap. Chen Lu said. She keeps throwing flirtatious glances at you. I can't stand it anymore. If it wasn't for big brother Jiang Chen finding a son, I would have turned against her long ago. Jiang Chen shook his head with a smile. You recommended this place to me. You said that they have the best information network in the Great Tang. Jiang Chen said helplessly. Chen Lu blushed. She had shot herself in the foot. The gains did not make up for the losses. However, this was also for brother Jiang Chen to find his son. Chen Lu's intentions were good. But she really did want to seduce you. I saw big brother Jiang Chen with my own eyes. She saw that you have so many pills, that's why she wanted to tie you to her body. Chen Lu said anxiously. I'm not someone who can be tied up by anyone. I know her intentions, but I have a favor to ask of her. Jiang Chen waved his hand. He did not care about this at all. All right, don't mind the details. However, what Jiang Chen didn't know was that the most difficult thing to do was to accept a beauty's kindness. Chen Lu still had deep feelings for him, which was why she was so afraid of Tang Wan. If Tang Wan managed to catch up to him, Chen Lu would probably cry to death. Hurry up and cultivate. I can see that you're about to break into the 8th heavenly layer. Then I'll go rest, brother Jiang Chen. Chen Lu nodded and left Jiang Chen's room. The two of them had bought an old residence, so there were many rooms. Jiang Chen wanted to study the water chestnut flower treasure book and the azure monkey. When he let the azure monkey out, the little fellow cautiously looked around. Finally, its gaze fell on Jiang Chen, as if it was extremely vigilant. Do you know how to speak? Where are you from? If you don't, then we can communicate spiritually. Jiang Chen said to the azure monkey. I'll ask and you'll answer. If you dare to speak nonsense, you should know what will happen to you. You're not very useful to me, but if you can satisfy my conditions, I'll let you go. The azure monkey was surprised, but it seemed to be at a loss, as if it was afraid that Jiang Chen would go back on his word. However, the azure monkey still nodded. It could understand every word Jiang Chen said. Where are you from? Xueqi Star. The azure monkey said. You have a surge of star energy in your body. Where did it come from? Jiang Chen was overjoyed and continued asking. The azure monkey was stunned and shook its head. I don't know. Our Green On clan has been like this since birth. You don't know this kind of power? As Jiang Chen flipped his palm, a surge of star energy flickered with blue starlight. It was like a transparent star that spun continuously in his palm. The azure monkey's eyes were filled with fear. It instantly knelt in front of Jiang Chen and kowtowed repeatedly. At this moment, even Jiang Chen was stunned. He looked at the azure monkey in disbelief. Why was the azure monkey kowtowing to him? Ancestor, are you really the ancestor of our Green On clan? The azure monkey changed its previous disdain and cautiousness and asked excitedly. I'm not the ancestor you're talking about. Jiang Chen frowned. No, you are. You must be the ancestor of our Green On clan. Chapter 5150. What is this? Why did it come here to acknowledge its ancestor? Just what was this sky blue monkey's background? Jiang Chen was dumbfounded. Why do you say I'm the ancestor of your race? Jiang Chen asked curiously. The azure monkey had a respectful expression. Legend has it that our race is forever cursed. Our bloodline was sealed, so we can never break through to the cosmic cloud state on planet Kue Mu. That place is also known as the Land of Exile. If we leave planet Kue Mu, we will die within 1,000 years. My ancestor once said that only by finding our ancestor can we break the seal. He's a man who controls the sun, moon, and stars. Only he can help us escape from the abyss of suffering. The azure monkey's expression was solemn and excited. This was not just him, but the hope of the entire azure brilliance race. Circulate your power and show me, Jiang Chen said. The azure monkey didn't doubt Jiang Chen's words. He had long since regarded Jiang Chen as his ancestor. With a lift of his hand, fist wind surged, Genesis Chi mixed with a trace of star power. Perhaps even they didn't know it. Which means, all members of your race have this kind of star power, right? Jiang Chen asked. Is this the power of the stars? The monkey was confused. Jiang Chen knew that he had to go to planet Kue Mu. Take me to planet Kue Mu, your home. If I can get what I want, I can definitely help you escape from the abyss of suffering. Jiang Chen nodded and said. The only thing they could do now was to bring the azure monkey to the Kue Wood Star. Everything was still unknown. Everything was unknown, but he was certain that planet Kue Mu definitely had star power. It might even have a star core. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel a little excited. Only the energy of the stars could rapidly increase his cultivation base. I don't dare to disobey the ancestor's words. The azure monkey lowered its brows and nodded. Jiang Chen's expression was grim. After all, from the looks of it, the Green On race on Kue Wood Star was the most important. Jiang Chen calmed himself down and decided to take a look at the water chestnut flower treasure book first. At this time, Jiang Chen took out the water chestnut flower treasure book. After dealing with this thing and stabilizing his cultivation, Jiang Chen prepared to head to Kue Wood Star. Of course, even though the water chestnut flower treasure codex was described as miraculous, he couldn't see any clues. Jiang Chen studied it for a long time before he came to a sudden realization. This 3-tripod flower treasure codex was actually sealed by an array formation. Otherwise, how could he have been unable to see through it? He was a formation grandmaster, but he was almost fooled by this water chestnut treasure book. He was really speechless. Looks like this sealing formation isn't simple at all. No wonder even the people from the HSBC auction house couldn't open the water chestnut treasure book. Jiang Chen was delighted. If they could understand the secrets of the water chestnut treasure book, they probably wouldn't have put it up for auction. Of course, he was also puzzled. Whether or not he could solve this mystery would depend on his own abilities and luck. Jiang Chen entered the Buddha prison palace carefully. Without any distractions, he began to comprehend the array formations sealed around the water chestnut treasure book. As an immortal lord, an existence second only to the eternal lord, his cultivation level must be extremely heaven-defying. There was no doubt that the items left behind by the immortal lord would be terrifying. Thinking of the black-clothed man who had competed with him, Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel puzzled. It seemed that he had to be on guard against this person. His eyes before he left were definitely filled with hatred. A gentleman's wealth is his ruin. He had to quickly open the water chestnut treasure book. Moreover, the Great Tang didn't seem like a place to stay for long. Fortunately, it wouldn't be long before he left this place. Jiang Chen put in a lot of effort and finally broke the formation that was sealing the 3-layer maze formation around the 3-layer maze formation. No one was able to open the 3-layer maze formation. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen, the 3-layer maze formation would have been hidden for the rest of its life. Jiang Chen believed that even an ordinary array master would not be able to do this. This water chestnut immortal lord was not simple. The water chestnut treasure book was opened. It was a box with 2 items inside. One was a beautiful hairpin that shone brilliantly, but Jiang Chen didn't see anything strange about it. The second item was a book with the words Water Chestnut Treasure Book written on it. It seemed like this was the original Water Chestnut Treasure Book. What secrets did it hold that could make people so obsessed? What did the water chestnut immortal lord leave behind for his descendants? After opening the water chestnut treasure book, Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. This was a divine technique. The water chestnut treasure book is born from pinching a flower. A single finger of the water chestnut can move mountains, fill seas, reverse yin and yang, shift the universe, study the changes of heaven and earth, and simulate the reincarnation of all things. The first is the heaven and earth aspect, causing all things to tremble. The second is the heaven and earth aspect, the third is the mountains and rivers aspect, the fourth is the ascension aspect, and the fifth is the reincarnation aspect. Born from these 5 aspects, they are immortal. Jiang Chen murmured. He was extremely shocked. This water chestnut treasure book was indeed a good thing. It was comparable to his 9 tribulations imprisoning heavenly finger. The power of these 5 aspects was not simple. Each aspect seemed to be the ultimate transformation of heaven and earth. It seemed like this water chestnut immortal lord was not an ordinary person. Jiang Chen's heart was pounding. He cultivated the water chestnut treasure book with all his might. This water chestnut treasure book was definitely a godly technique. It was no wonder that countless people would go crazy over it. It was a pity that no one could unlock it. Otherwise, it would not be his turn. This water chestnut immortal lord did something good. If Tang Wan knew about it, she would not let it go even if it cost her 100 million source stones. Jiang Chen calmed his mind and began to go all out. He kept devouring grade 9 source stones, and his strength continued to strengthen. In 2 days, Jiang Chen had completely stabilized his strength at the 9th heaven of the star state. Now, he could fight against a half-step nebula state without any pressure. He would not be as pathetic as when he was in the western border. However, at this time, there were only a few grade 9 source stones left. Jiang Chen's strength had increased by a lot, but he had also used up a large number of source stones. At this time, Jiang Chen was fully prepared. He planned to go to the Xueqi wood planet to find out what was going on. How long will it take to get to the Xueqi wood planet from here? Jiang Chen asked. About a year and a half. Di Luo pondered. What if we have this? Within 3 days, it should be enough, right? Jiang Chen took out the Zhonglan divine boat. Di Luo's face was instantly filled with shock. It seemed that the ancestor was indeed very powerful, but why was his strength so weak? This is a flying artifact that can travel through the universe and the eternal world? Di Luo was naturally not ignorant and ill-informed. When he saw the Azure Wave's divine boat, his heart was filled with reverence for his ancestor. With this flying artifact, we don't need 3 days. We can probably reach the Xueqi wood planet in 2.5 days. Di Luo said excitedly. Then let's go. We'll depart immediately. Jiang Chen nodded. However, just as he was about to tell Chen Lu, a terrifying qi descended from the sky and enveloped the entire old mansion. The area within a few miles seemed to have been completely sealed. Chapter 51-51. Jiang Chen's heart sank. He didn't expect that he would encounter trouble just as he was about to leave this place. At this moment, Chen Lu also felt an immense pressure. She hurriedly walked out of her room, only to see Big Bro Jiang Chen and the Azure Monkey standing in the courtyard with a solemn expression on their faces. What's going on? Big Bro Jiang Chen? Chen Lu still had a puzzled expression on her face. Although her perception wasn't as strong as Jiang Chen's, she could still feel that something was wrong. There was a high possibility that they were surrounded and wouldn't be able to move an inch. Jiang Chen glanced at Chen Lu and nodded his head. Someone might have already set their eyes on us. Jiang Chen's perception definitely wasn't something Chen Lu could compare to. His innate astral soul had already sensed the pressure from a long time ago, and it was rushing towards them. Come out. Since you're already here, don't tell me you're planning to set up camp here? Jiang Chen coldly said. At this moment, 10 silhouettes silently appeared in the courtyard. Although Jiang Chen had already set up a formation, these people came prepared. Although it would be difficult to break the formation, they still had to leave this place eventually. Since the other party had already rushed over, there was no need for him to continue pretending. Since they wanted to come, there was no need for them to return. As expected of a man that could move Sister Chen Lu's heart. This aura and courage is truly admirable. Jiang Chen, we meet again. Zhou Haoran's appearance wasn't out of Jiang Chen's expectations. He already knew that it was him. This fellow definitely wouldn't let this matter rest. During the annual auction, he had caused Zhou Haoren to lose all his face. How could this young master of a major clan swallow this down? Hence, Zhou Haoren's appearance was obvious. If he didn't come, Jiang Chen would be extremely shocked. To the usually domineering Zhou Haoren, Jiang Chen was a thorn in his side. Not to mention, Jiang Chen even dared to snatch a woman from him. If this could be tolerated, what could not be tolerated? Men had to act. Zhou Haoren had already made up his mind to kill Jiang Chen here to vent the hatred in his heart. He was the local tyrant of Great Tang, the crown prince. For such a thing to happen to him was truly a humiliation. Many people in the annual auction had witnessed themselves being suppressed by Jiang Chen twice. They had no way to fight back and could only wait to be trampled on. However, it was different now. If he wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as flipping his palm. Zhou Haoren, what are you trying to do? Chen Lu's heart sank. Looking at the expert behind him, a bad premonition welled up in her heart. Zhou Haoren sneered and shook his head. What do I want to do? How could you not know? I'm going to kill him today and then take you for myself. Isn't that my goal? Ha ha ha. This person must die. Zhou Haoren, said it. You lunatic. We have no feud with you. Why are you doing this? Chen Lu stared at Zhou Haoren angrily. This guy was obviously angry because he failed to woo her. Now, he was venting his anger on brother Jiang Chen. This matter had started because of her. You're really a little cutie, Chen Lu. He spoke rudely to me at the entrance of the HSBC auction. He doesn't know what's good for him. He humiliated me again and again at the annual auction? And he has no feud with me? What kind of hatred does he have for me to treat him like this? Who do you think you are? You're just a whore. In my eyes, you're a slut. I'm going to ravage you and throw you into the 10,000 snakes cave. Ha ha ha. Zhou Haoren's eyes were cold. He was originally deeply in love with Chen Lu, but this ungrateful woman actually belittled him and humiliated him in front of other men. This hatred had been buried deep in Zhou Haoren's heart. Now that such a good opportunity had presented itself, he had to make Jiang Chen pay the price. As a young master of the Great Tang, he had the strength. Moreover, Jiang Chen definitely had many secrets on him. Since this guy had obtained the Water Caltrip treasure book, he definitely had other great treasures. This Water Caltrip treasure book had been sold for an astronomical price of 50 million. Who knew how many people dreamed of it? The treasure in Jiang Chen's hands was also something he urgently wanted. Chen Lu was no longer attractive at this moment. He just wanted to get it in passing. Jiang Chen was his ultimate goal. As one of the 4 great clans of the Great Tang, Zhou Haoren still had the strength and boldness to do so. You bastard! Do you know that if you do this, you might get the HSBC auction house? Don't forget that big brother Jiang Chen is Miss Tang Wan's honored guest. Chen Lu glared at Zhou Haoren angrily. She brought up Tang Wan from the HSBC auction house in an attempt to stop Zhou Haoren. However, Zhou Haoren was not easily intimidated. Even if Tang Wan was here, he would not stop. After all, he had come to find Jiang Chen today. Tang Wan alone could not control the situation. Unless Tang Wan was prepared to start a war with the Zhou clan. This was not the HSBC auction. Do you think that Tang Wan is his protective talisman? Zhou Haoren, am not afraid of her. Zhou Haoren, have never needed anyone to teach me how to do things. Zhou Haoren took a step forward. With boundless killing intent, he glared at Jiang Chen. No one could stop him. Anyone who dared to stand in his way would suffer a fate worse than death. Even Chen Lu was no exception. In Zhou Haoren's eyes, Chen Lu was no longer that important. Right now, Jiang Chen was the treasure in his eyes. Chen Lu didn't expect things to develop to this point. The masters behind Zhou Haoren weren't to be trifled with. The power of the 4 major families in Tang was terrifying. It wasn't something the Shijiang forces could take on, especially the Zhou clan. It's rare for young noble Zhou to be in such a mood. In that case, we can't be biased. Since you want to play, I will keep you company to the end. Jiang Chen smiled. Despite facing Zhou Haoren who came prepared, he wasn't afraid at all. These guys were indeed strong, but his power had completely stabilized at the level 9 star state. With such combat power, Jiang Chen was confident that he could dominate all cosmic cloud states. Zhou Haoren was arrogant and presumptuous, but unfortunately, he encountered Lu Chen. Big brother Jiang Chen, they have the numbers advantage. These people aren't easy to deal with. The 9 experts behind Zhou Haoren still put a lot of pressure on Chen Lu. After all, they were in someone else's territory, not the western frontier. Among them, there were at least 3 level 9 star states. The rest were all level 8 star states. Chapter 51-52. The reason why Zhou Haoren could be so confident was naturally because of the experts behind him. These people were the backbone of the Zhou family. Any 2 of them could easily destroy a small force. A mere Jiang Chen? He didn't care about him at all. How elegant. Since you're so happy, I'll naturally play with you. Pity, you won't get a single treasure or beauty. Zhou Haoren stood with his hands behind his back, his gaze cold as he stared at Jiang Chen with killing intent. Don't worry, with me here, they won't be able to harm a single hair of yours. Jiang Chen said confidently. Not bad. This man isn't bad. He didn't leave you at the crucial moment. Ha ha. But today, I'm afraid you two will have to part ways. Zhou Haoren's expression was sinister. Don't worry, I definitely won't kill him, Chen Lu. I'll ravage you in front of him. I'll let him have a different experience. Aren't women meant to be played with? Am I right, Jiang Chen? You bastard. You're a shameless person. Chen Lu clenched her fists, wanting to tear Zhou Haoren to pieces. There's no point in talking so much. Let's see if you can have the last laugh. If I want to kill you, I won't have to go through too much trouble. Jiang Chen and Zhou Haoren stared at each other. Sparks finally burst out from their eyes. Courting death. Then I'll send you on your way. Zhou Haoren said coldly. Do it. With a roar, 3-star level 9 powerhouses swiftly rushed forward. 6-star level 8 powerhouses followed closely behind. The 9 experts immediately surrounded Jiang Chen. Little sister Chen Lu. Let me see if your strength has improved. Zhou Haoren approached Chen Lu. Chen Lu's gaze turned cold. She was now a peak star level 7 and was chosen by the Chen clan's ancestral land. Although Zhou Haoren was a star state level 8, Chen Lu wasn't afraid of him. Moreover, there was no way to retreat from this battle. In the blink of an eye, big brother Jiang Chen had already confronted the 9 masters. The situation was very difficult. Brother Jiang Chen, be careful. Chen Lu was filled with worry. You should worry about yourself first. Humph. Zhou Haoren did not have the slightest bit of tenderness towards the fairer sex. He wanted to capture Chen Lu first and then use her to threaten the other party. However, Zhou Haoren was still very confident in the 9 experts behind him. It would be a piece of cake for these 9 people to deal with Jiang Chen. Kill, the leading Star Realm expert led the group to attack Jiang Chen's vitals without a care in the world. Jiang Chen laughed coldly. His eyes were cold. Naturally, he did not fear danger. He held his saber horizontally, unmoving like a mountain. After dragon transformation, Jiang Chen's power and spirit were extremely domineering. Clashing with the 9 experts, it was simply earth-shattering. Jiang Chen's power had completely stabilized at the star level 9. These 9 couldn't shake him at all. Fighting 1 against 9, Jiang Chen still had some leeway. The 9 people's power was indeed extraordinary. To be able to work for the Zhou family, how could they be weak? This time, in order to be absolutely safe, Zhou Haoren found 3-star level 9 experts to hold the fort. Now that both sides were in a stalemate, Zhou Haoren frowned. What were these people doing? Still not ending the battle quickly? Zhou Haoren roared. However, he didn't expect that these people were even more anxious than him. But did they really think that Jiang Chen was as weak as they said? If they could kill Jiang Chen, they would have done it long ago. Why wait until now? In the blink of an eye, tens of moves had passed. However, Jiang Chen was still undefeatable. And at this moment, the 9 experts seemed to be struggling. Jiang Chen was unruffled. These people weren't weak. It was a pity that they met him. For such an intense battle, it was just right for Jiang Chen. After all, there were still 3-star level 9 experts, right? He still had to give them some face. At this time, Jiang Chen's gaze was on Chen Lu. Her strength was what Jiang Chen cared about. Although there was a gap between the two, Chen Lu didn't disappoint him. Against Zhou Haoren, who was stronger than him by a level, Chen Lu instead fought bravely. This was what made Jiang Chen happy. Seeing that Chen Lu was fine, it was time for him to stretch his muscles. At this time, Jiang Chen shook his head. The light in his eyes began to burn. The real battle had just begun. In that case, let me see just how capable you motley crew are. Jiang Chen sneered. With the heavenly dragon sword in his hand, the sword aura was like a hot knife through butter. The 9 experts didn't expect Jiang Chen to be so terrifying. 6/8 heavenly layer star realm experts couldn't even withstand Jiang Chen's attack. Even if the 6 of them joined forces, they could only match a 9th heavenly layer star realm expert. Moreover, Jiang Chen's attack was so powerful that it didn't give them any chance. Jiang Chen didn't have any distractions. The heavenly dragon sword came and went freely. The limitless sword was unruffled. In less than 10 moves, the 9 of them were completely pinned down by Jiang Chen. The 3-star level 9 experts were even more cautious. However, Jiang Chen's strength was too strong. They had never met such a terrifying expert before. After a series of crazy attacks, Jiang Chen wasn't injured at all. Moreover, Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword was extremely dazzling. They could only advance step by step. When they were injured by Jiang Chen's sword, they couldn't retaliate at all. The limitless sword began to provide Jiang Chen with the simplest and most brutal attack. Jiang Chen hadn't even used his true killer move, and these people were already retreating. Zhou Haoren saw this scene and was completely dumbfounded. Jiang Chen was actually this insane. These people were the top experts of their Zhou clan. Could it be that they had to find their ancestor? Jiang Chen's strength alone swept through the universe, causing the 9 experts to fall into a desperate situation. They originally thought that the 9 of them were more than enough to kill Jiang Chen. However, they were now being pinned down instead. Zhou Haoren was extremely anxious. If this continued, wouldn't he lose? More importantly, under Chen Lu's continuous bombardment, he had fallen into a perilous situation. Damn it, I'm the Zhou clan's young master, yet I ended up like this. Did you guys not eat? A bunch of trash. Hurry up and kill him. Chapter 51-53. Shocking. An indescribable shock. Zhou Haoren's eyes were filled with horror. He never thought that Jiang Chen's strength would be this terrifying. The subordinates that he was so proud of were actually killed by Jiang Chen in a short period of time. Although they were star level 8 experts, they were not easy to deal with. With so many of them joining hands, they were still repelled by Jiang Chen. Moreover, in an instant, their heads were separated from their bodies. This scene was something that Zhou Haoren could not accept no matter what. Isn't this too sick? He had already calculated everything beforehand, but he never thought that the clown would become him. He thought that it was foolproof, but it was actually full of loopholes. He was already in a very passive position now. Under Chen Lu's suppression, he had no strength to retaliate at all. Originally, he was hoping that these people would come and save him. But now, it seemed that the beauty had become a pipe dream. He had to consider his own path of retreat. The remaining 3-star level 9 experts were Zhou Haoren's last trump card. However, these 3 people seemed to be very cautious. Under Jiang Chen's reckless suppression, they seemed to be in a difficult situation. Kill! Kill! Zhou Haoren roared madly. But it was useless. Jiang Chen was too strong. With the heavenly dragon sword in his hand, he was invincible. The 3-star level 9 experts had no place to use their skills. Moreover, they were in a difficult situation. If this continued, there would only be one result: they would all die. Jiang Chen strolled leisurely, calm and unruffled. Wherever his sword pointed, the 3-star level 9 experts were in a difficult situation. They could not understand why Jiang Chen had just broken through not long ago. Why were the 3 of them unable to move him? Isn't this too horrifying? Facts speak louder than words. Jiang Chen's strength had completely exceeded their imagination. With his strength alone, he was able to dominate the universe. The 3-star level 9 experts, who were usually high and mighty, were now like drowning dogs, fleeing in all directions. Under the suppression of Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword, their injuries became more and more severe. Even Chen Lu hadn't expected such an outcome. Big brother Jiang Chen was able to remain so calm and unruffled while facing so many experts by himself. It was really not easy. Most importantly, Big brother Jiang Chen didn't have any problems at all. He even had the upper hand. It seemed that Zhou Haoren was going to suffer a setback. As expected of my most admired big brother Jiang Chen. Chen Lu's heart was filled with pride. Furthermore, she was also very cautious when fighting against Zhou Haoren. She had used all her techniques to put Zhou Haoren in a disadvantageous position. Even breathing had become very difficult. Big brother Jiang Chen was invincible. In this battle, Zhou Haoren had obviously lost. Get lost. Sword 31. The merciless absolute sword swept across the land. The three great experts were all pushed back by Jiang Chen. Their faces were pale, but they were still able to protect themselves by using their full strength. However, they could not withstand the sharpness of Jiang Chen's sword. Jiang Chen was too strong. Kill. Jiang Chen had never thought of showing mercy. At this time, he only had one goal: kill. Kill without mercy. Since Zhou Haoren brought people here, it meant that he wanted to kill him. If someone wanted to kill him, did he have to put down the butcher's knife? Jiang Chen had never been a kind person. Killing Zhou Haoren was his ultimate goal. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for not knowing what's good for you, insisting on going against me. Jiang Chen sneered in his heart. At this time, the three experts already didn't dare to continue forward. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, aimed at Zhou Haoren with killing intent. A deafening sword chime rang out. Zhou Haoren couldn't avoid it and was defeated in one move. Blood spurted out from his shoulder and he retreated with serious injuries. His face was extremely pale. He wasn't a match for Jiang Chen at all. Puh! Zhou Haoren spurted out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. He struggled to get up, his face full of fear. Don't kill me. Zhou Haoren's face was pale as he said in fear. Don't kill you? Then what's the point of keeping you alive? Jiang Chen sneered. You and I have no enmity. Let's part ways here. Please let me go, Jiang Chen. I promise, I won't fight with you for Chen Lu anymore. I swear to God. Zhou Haoren hurriedly said. No enmity? Ha 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 ha, what a joke. You wanted to kill me and take my treasure. Now that you've been exposed, you say we have no enmity? Do you really think that I, Jiang Chen, am a 3-year-old kid? Jiang Chen was so angry that he started laughing. You came to find someone to kill me, and now that you're no match for me, you say that you have no enmity with me? Do you really think that I'm that easy to brush off? We've already reached a point where we can't rest until one of us is dead. If I were the one injured right now, would you still have the confidence to say that there's no enmity between us? Do you think that Lulu is someone that you can lay your hands on? Now that we've come to blows and our lives are on the line, you still have the face to say that there's no enmity between us? Jiang Chen kicked Zhou Haoren, sending him flying more than 10 meters away. Zhou Haoren felt as if his bones had been shattered, and he was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. Only fear and despair could be seen in his eyes. From the initial arrogance, he was now trembling all over. Zhou Haoren was like a tortoise, curling up and looking at Jiang Chen with a pleading expression. I'm the young master of one of the Great Tang's 4 great clans, Jiang Chen. I beg you, please don't kill me. I can give you a lot of wealth and treasures. I can give you supreme glory. Don't kill me. I beg you, don't kill me. Zhou Haoren kept kowtowing to Jiang Chen, but it was too late now. Jiang Chen had already made up his mind to kill him. Big brother Jiang Chen, why don't we just forget it? Chen Lu's gaze was a little complicated. She couldn't be feeling sorry for Zhou Haoren, but she felt that if big brother Jiang Chen really did kill Zhou Haoren, it would incur the wrath of the entire Zhou clan. Big brother Jiang Chen might be very strong, but it was impossible for him to fight against the Zhou clan alone. Even the HSBC auction house couldn't really shed all pretense of cordiality with the Zhou clan. Most importantly, the Zhou clan had tens of thousands of years of history in the Great Tang. They were deeply rooted, and shaking the Zhou clan would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Zhou Haoren was the young master of the Zhou clan, and his status was respected. If anything happened to him, the Zhou clan would definitely be in an uproar. He insulted you and wanted to kill me. This kind of person can't be left alive. Chapter 51-54. Jiang Chen walked towards Zhou Haoren step by step. Zhou Haoren's face was ashen. He could see that Jiang Chen did not plan to give him any chance at all. Jiang Chen, if you kill me, the Zhou clan will make sure you die without a burial ground. You will not be able to escape from the Zhou clan no matter where you go. Zhou Haoran was hysterical. He was trying to look tough but he was weak at heart. But even so, Jiang Chen still ignored his existence. The heavenly dragon sword let out a series of sword cries. It swept across the sky and began to point at Zhou Haoran. No, no! Zhou Haoran shook his head with all his might. His face was extremely pale. At this moment, the 3-star level 9 experts saw this and their hearts sank. Why are you still not coming to save me? What's the use of you? Zhou Haoran roared. The three looked at each other and gritted their teeth. They were still prepared for the last fight. They had to save their young master even if they died. Otherwise, even if they returned to the Zhou clan, they would not be able to escape the blame. However, the three of them still could not block Jiang Chen's fatal attack. Jiang Chen roared. The long sword cries pierced through the sky. One of the star level 9 experts was instantly pierced through. The heavenly dragon sword fell down and directly cut 2 people in half. The other one was naturally Zhou Haoran. The remaining 2 star level 9 experts were so scared that their souls left their bodies. They quickly ran away. At this moment, Jiang Chen also did not bother to chase them because he was already prepared to leave this place. Even if he offended the Zhou clan, so what? Zhou Haoran could not believe that Jiang Chen actually killed him. He was the eldest young master of the Zhou clan. However, in front of Jiang Chen, even the 9 Heavens God Emperor was not in his eyes. Whoever dared to block his way would only be dead. Big brother Jiang Chen, you have to leave Great Tang as soon as possible. If not, the Zhou family will never let this matter go. You've killed Zhou Haoran, and the Zhou family will be furious. They will definitely start a bloody war. Chen Lu's face was filled with worry. Jiang Chen was unmoved. If he wanted to kill, he would kill to his heart's content. Those 2 fellows would not be able to escape from his palm. Jiang Chen used the Sky Ascension Stairway. His speed was shocking. In an instant, he caught up to the 2 fleeing star levels. The 2 of them fought with their lives on the line. However, how could Jiang Chen give them a chance? Although the strength of these 2 people was not weak, they were already defeated. Moreover, Zhou Haoran and another 9th heavenly layer companion were already dead. How could they still have the mood to fight? They wholeheartedly wanted to escape, but Jiang Chen was hot on their heels. Facing the heavy rain of swords, their hearts were incomparably bleak, and they only wanted to escape with their lives. 32 swords. Jiang Chen pulled out his sword and stood straight. The 2 figures that were rushing towards him were directly cut in half by Jiang Chen. In the end, they did not even have the chance to scream. In the void, blood splattered everywhere. The entire old house had been covered by Jiang Chen's formation. Therefore, no matter how big the commotion was, it would not attract the attention of the surrounding people. Brother Jiang Chen, I'm afraid that something bad might happen if we delay. Let's go. There is no wall in this world that can't pass through. Chen Lu said softly. All right, but I'm preparing to go to Xueqi Wood Star this time. You should come with me. Otherwise, I'm worried that they will find trouble with you. Jiang Chen said. Xueqi Wood Star? If we go there, can we still make it back in time to participate in the Chen clan's ancestral land trial? Chen Lu frowned. Don't worry, we will be back in a few days. Jiang Chen smiled. I'm afraid you won't have this chance. A cold voice sounded in Jiang Chen's ears. This time, even he did not notice who the person was. However, the strength of this person made Jiang Chen not dare to be careless. He was as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Who? Chen Lu shouted. A black-clothed man with a golden mask appeared proudly between the heavens and earth. Jiang Chen's heart suddenly sank. This guy seemed to have come prepared. You're here to snatch my water chestnut flower treasure book. Jiang Chen knew that this person was the one who appeared at the HSBC auction house. You have a good eye. However, since you're so rich, I'll let you have it. Now you can give it to me. I can promise you one thing. The black-clothed man said with a smile. This is your only chance to live. Jiang Chen didn't expect this black-clothed man to be so arrogant. However, this black-clothed man's strength did make Jiang Chen feel fear. He didn't even notice the black-clothed man appearing near his formation. Even his natal astral soul couldn't sense his existence. You seem to be very confident. However, I don't need this chance. If you want my item, you need to have a reason to do so. Jiang Chen smiled. The black-clothed man was not angry. He shook his head. Initially, I wanted to obtain the water chestnut flower treasure book openly. However, it's a pity that you insisted on competing with me. Now that I've given you a chance, you're useless. It seems like you're going to be buried here. Don't make yourself sound so dignified. In the end, aren't you here to snatch my treasure? What's the difference between you and those fellows who deserve to die? You're clearly a bandit, yet you still flaunt yourself so high and mighty. I really feel sorry for you. Jiang Chen sneered. Fine, it seems like you really don't know who you're talking to. In that case, I'll give you a chance to start over. Don't be so arrogant in your next life because you don't know who you're talking to. I hope you can have a next life. The black-clothed man took off his mask, revealing a devilishly charming face. He was handsome and confident, but his eyes were blood-red, giving off a very strange feeling. Chen Lu frowned. Who is this person? It didn't seem to give them too much pressure, but it was hard for them to even breathe. Such a powerful aura, such dominating eyes. His blood-red pupils gave off a bloodthirsty feeling, as if they possessed boundless magical power. Arrogant and conceited. Let's see how much you're worth. Jiang Chen's expression was serious. He knew that this person wasn't simple. He might not be any weaker than the half-step cosmic cloud state he fought before. This battle would be very difficult. But now that things had come to this, Jiang Chen wasn't going to let go of the water chestnut flower treasure book for sure. He spent a fortune to get the water chestnut flower treasure book. How could he let someone else have it? If they wanted to fight, then so be it. Jiang Chen wanted to test his limits. Laughable, pathetic, pitiful. Chapter 51-55. Jiang Chen had been keeping his guard up against this man in black, but he didn't expect that he would still show up in the end. Zhou Haoren didn't even have the right to carry his shoes before him. Although Jiang Chen had seen countless masters and experienced hundreds of battles, he had to admit that he had no confidence against this man. Powerful beings emitted a powerful aura from their bones. Jiang Chen was arrogant, but he wasn't arrogant to the point of being arrogant. Today's battle was more likely to lose than win. This wasn't Jiang Chen's first time in a battle like this, but he felt powerless from the bottom of his heart. This man was extremely difficult to deal with. Chen Lu didn't realize how terrifying this man was, but Jiang Chen knew that no matter what, he had to give it his all in this battle. There's no point in talking. If you want to kill me, it'll depend on your luck. Jiang Chen drew his sword and pointed it at the black-clothed man. The instant their gazes met, it was as though lightning had ignited the earth. Terrifying qi interweaved in the world. Brother Jiang Chen, be careful. This man isn't simple. Chen Lu said in a deep voice. This man's strength was much scarier than those 9th heavenly layer star realm experts. But with big brother Jiang Chen's current strength, he shouldn't be in danger, right? It's your honor to die in my hands, Quang Heng said plainly. What? Your dark feather sword sex Quang Heng? Chen Lu's expression changed drastically. Her pretty face was covered in frost, and her eyes had a sliver of fear. Oh, how many years has it been? There's still someone who remembers my name? Quang Heng looked at Chen Lu in shock. Brother Jiang Chen, let's go. We can't beat him. Chen Lu transmitted her voice. Who doesn't know dark feather sword sex Quang Heng? 7,000 years ago, he fought against 6 masters alone and killed 3 half-step cosmic cloud states. This shocked the entire Tianchen planet. Countless galactic wanderers trembled in fear upon hearing his name. No one dares to provoke him, but he is forbidden from entering the Tianchen planet. Anyone who dares to do so will be killed without mercy. I didn't expect you to come to Tianchen Star. Chen Lu's gaze was extremely complicated, filled with worry and shock. However, the name of the Dark Feather Sword sect was well known. Even after so many years, Chen Lu still did not forget that there was such a terrifying existence in the long history of the Tianchen Star. Things remain the same, but people change. After so many years, I never thought that my name would still be remembered by people. However, in this land, no one can judge me, not even the heavens. Today, if I kill you too, who will know that I have been to the heavenly star? Even if they knew if I, Quang Heng, want to leave, who can stop me? Quang Heng stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His murderous aura pierced through the clouds like a deity descending from the heavens. Even Jiang Chen was shocked. 7,000 years ago, He was able to kill 3 half-step cosmic cloud states. Had he broken through to the half-step cosmic cloud state? Jiang Chen couldn't imagine it, but now that things had come to this, even if they wanted to leave, Quang Heng would not let them go. It was impossible to run. They could only fight to the last moment. He hadn't heard of his name, but Chen Lu's expression was enough to know that this guy was a taboo on the Tianqian star. His name was removed from the planet. That's why he hid his identity at the HSBC auction. Otherwise, why would he choose this method to deal with him? Kneel down now, and I might be able to leave your corpses intact. Otherwise, you will be turned into ashes, your souls will scatter, and your bones will disappear. Quang Heng said plainly. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He had already announced the death penalty for Jiang Chen and Chen Lu. You only talk but not practice. Show me some real power. Let me see if you really live up to your reputation. Jiang Chen smiled. Brother Jiang Chen, Chen Lu still wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Jiang Chen. It was too late to run. They could only face it head-on. You're confident, but you're not qualified to challenge me. If it was back then, I would have slapped you to death. Some people like to humiliate themselves. Quang Heng wasn't angry. In his eyes, Jiang Chen was just like an ant trying to shake a tree. Why should he be angry? He just felt they were laughable. Limitless sword, come. Jiang Chen attacked with a killing move. If he didn't seize the opportunity, he would become more and more passive, shocking the world with a single brilliant move. Jiang Chen's murderous intent penetrated the heavenly dragon sword and shot up into the sky. Come. Quang Heng was as still as a mountain, standing with his hands behind his back. In the face of Jiang Chen's powerful sword qi, he was calm and unruffled. His every movement was imposing, making it impossible for others to see any flaws. Quang Heng seemed to have merged with heaven and earth. His expression was calm and serious. With a light tap of his finger, Genesis Qi surged over. A powerful finger force descended from the sky. Jiang Chen stood with his sword as if facing a great enemy. He swept across the sky, and the heavenly dragon sword was almost crushed. Jiang Chen's face was grim. This power was destructive. It seemed like a simple finger, but he knew that an ordinary 9th-layer star-level expert would have died on the spot. Clang! Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword seemed to have slashed against metal. It was repelled, and his whole body was numb. This power was completely transmitted to him, as if it was directed to him. Jiang Chen's eyes were filled with horror. This person was too terrifying, so powerful that it made one's hair stand on end. Jiang Chen didn't want to give up. He raised his sword again and swept across the void. The limitless sword also encountered unprecedented pressure. Sword 31. Sword 32. Each sword was stronger than the one before. Each sword was like a flying immortal, cutting through the void and descending from the clouds. Insignificant tricks. How dare you show off in front of an expert? You overestimate yourself. Quang Heng slapped out with his palm, scattering the clouds. Heaven and earth changed colors. It was like a giant net that crushed down, causing the heavens to tremble. Thud. Jiang Chen felt an unprecedented power impact. The limitless sword had completely lost the initiative. For the first time, Jiang Chen was struck back. His eyes were filled with shock. How is this possible? Jiang Chen had an ominous feeling. Could it be that he was a cosmic cloud state? Impossible. This was impossible. Jiang Chen's heart was in turmoil. If this person was really a cosmic cloud state, he would probably lose this battle. A cosmic cloud state was completely different from a half-step cosmic cloud state. There were strong and weak half-step cosmic cloud states, but at least Jiang Chen was confident that a half-step cosmic cloud state wouldn't be able to defeat him so easily. Chapter 51-56. Jiang Chen took a few steps back. His eyes were full of seriousness and light, and his heart was filled with disbelief. However, at this moment, Quang Heng was still rather confident. He stood there calmly and proudly. He looked at Jiang Chen as though he was looking at an ant. It was as though he was the only person in this world. It seems your power isn't that great. It's far from what I imagined. Quang Heng shook his head coldly. To him, Jiang Chen was a dispensable existence. It would be a piece of cake for him to kill Jiang Chen. That's not for sure. Let's try first. Until the very last moment, it's still uncertain who will win. Jiang Chen sneered. Jiang Chen wasn't someone who would admit defeat. Even if he died, he wanted to die a worthy death. It was undeniable that Quang Heng was very strong, but he still had to hold on until the very last moment. Chen Lu was very worried about her big brother Jiang Chen's situation, but she couldn't fight him anymore because her strength was limited. If she were to attack him now, it might cause a greater impact on her big brother Jiang Chen's condition. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that Quang Heng had the absolute advantage in the exchange just now. Big brother Jiang Chen was in a very worrying situation. Again. Let me see how much you're worth. Quang Heng stared at Jiang Chen with a cold and sharp gaze. Then I'll fulfill your wish, ungrateful bastard. Jiang Chen sneered. Instead of retreating, he charged forward with the heavenly dragon sword in his hand. Sword light shot out in all directions, crisscrossing between the heavens and earth. The limitless sword was executed to its limits, but it still couldn't hurt Quang Heng in the slightest. Quang Heng stood there, unmoving like a mountain. He stood there like an insurmountable mountain. The limitless sword was very powerful. With the heavenly dragon sword, Jiang Chen could easily kill a half-step cosmic cloud state. However, Jiang Chen couldn't touch Quang Heng at all. Quang Heng seemed to be fighting him with a mocking expression, but it was a one-sided battle. Jiang Chen couldn't hold Quang Heng back at all. Such a battle was quite frustrating for Jiang Chen. Your sword technique isn't bad, but the person using the sword is too weak. Quang Heng shook his head and struck with his palm. Piss off! With a deep roar, Quang Heng swept across the sky. His palm was sharp and pushed Jiang Chen backwards. Jiang Chen spurted out a mouthful of blood. The heavenly dragon sword was blocking his way, but it could not stop Quang Heng's attack. It was just a casual strike, but the power wasn't something Jiang Chen could stop. Even a half-step cosmic cloud state would be instantly blown away. You're a cosmic cloud state? Jiang Chen said in a deep voice with a pale face. At this moment, even Chen Lu's face was filled with fear and disbelief. Cosmic cloud state? How is this possible? If he really was a cosmic cloud state, then she and brother Jiang Chen would be dead for sure. Isn't it too late to know now? Quang Heng smiled. I've already reminded you long ago to behave yourself, but you just won't listen? Do you know your mistake now? Unfortunately, your death is decided. You've ignited my killing intent. No one can stop me now. Not even the heavens. Quang Heng's confidence came from his power. Cosmic cloud state. How powerful was that? Even in the entire universe, there weren't many cosmic cloud states at the pinnacle of the eternal world. Each cosmic cloud state was considered a powerful being in the world. They had reached a level where they could easily fly across the world. Traveling across the cosmos was no longer a problem. Cosmic cloud states were the dream of countless people. Jiang Chen was no exception. Once he reached the cosmic cloud state, it would be easier for him to find his son. At that time, there wouldn't be many people in the world who could stand against him. Even though he was still quite a distance away from becoming the Eternal Lord, he would at least be able to protect himself. He wouldn't have to submit to anyone anymore. The Quang Heng in front of him was calm and unruffled. His every movement was overbearing. Jiang Chen should have expected this. At this moment, he was like an arrow on a bowstring that had to be released. No one could stop him. He had what Quang Heng wanted, and Quang Heng's target was his sword. Even if he wanted to retreat, it was impossible. Quang Heng's calmness was out of Jiang Chen's expectation. He was calm and confident, as if everything was under his control. No matter how hard Jiang Chen tried, he would not be able to escape from Quang Heng's grasp. Kill! Jiang Chen didn't stop. He had to keep fighting to have a chance of survival. Quang Heng was too strong. Jiang Chen wasn't confident at all. However, Quang Heng was determined to kill him. He had no other choice. 9 Tribulation imprisoning heavenly finger. 1 sun finger. Double dragon finger. 3-fold finger. 4 directional finger. Jiang Chen unleashed all of his skills. Every single finger strike was ferocious. The strength of his finger was shocking and could destroy anything. Good move. Quang Heng smiled faintly. As he stretched out his hand, a thunderous palm strike was unleashed. The domineering palm strike had completely shattered Jiang Chen's 9 Tribulations heavenly imprisoning finger. Jiang Chen's body was trembling as he retreated backwards. His face was filled with shock and horror. However, he knew that he had no way out. At this time, Quang Heng's casual move could make him feel like he was facing a great enemy. 5 Elements Finger. Jiang Chen's last finger was aimed at Quang Heng. The powerful finger power pierced through the sky and pressed down. You overestimate yourself. Humph. Quang Heng looked at him coldly. He flipped his palm and the power of his palm appeared again. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Chen was forced to retreat. The finger seal disappeared between heaven and earth without a trace. Jiang Chen was incomparably excited. However, he still couldn't shake Quang Heng at all. On the contrary, Quang Heng was forced back once again. Jiang Chen advanced step by step. At this time, he was becoming more and more passive. If this continued, it would only become more troublesome and his life would be hanging by a thread. It seems that you don't have the ability to shake me in the slightest. Today, I will enforce justice on behalf of the heavens and kill you to resolve the hatred in my heart. Quang Heng's expression turned frosty. He was already preparing to attack. Miluo palm. Quang Heng's eyes were like torches. His palms struck out, creating layers of illusions that blotted out the sky and earth. Jiang Chen's expression changed again and again. This guy was too difficult to deal with. Jiang Chen could not contend against a nebula expert. Starlight enter the body. 100 refined stars. Exploding heavenly stars. Jiang Chen activated the Genesis Qi in his body. The golden body treasure image and dragon transformation were unstoppable as they brazenly faced off against Quang Heng. Then, they rapidly retreated with a grim expression. Jiang Chen's body was heavily injured. He spurted out blood again. His eyes flickered, unable to calm down for a long time. Not bad. Take one of my attacks. Let's see how long you can last for the second attack. As Quang Heng turned around, his palm power overturned the sky and earth. Endless mighty power poured down. Jiang Chen's eyes were gloomy. No! Chapter 51-57. Rumble and earth-shattering explosion resounded in the sky. Jiang Chen retreated and knelt on one knee. His expression was grim and his face was covered in dust. However, he still survived this attack. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and stood up once again. This time, Quang Heng saw him in a new light. Quang Heng's eyes flashed. He was quite surprised. This guy did have some power. He was able to withstand multiple of his attacks. It wasn't easy at all. You're very strong indeed, Quang Heng said plainly. Unfortunately, you met me. Jiang Chen knew that he had no choice in this battle. This cosmic cloud state was too terrifying. He was no match for him at all. 6-spine coiling dragon, Black King, come out. Jiang Chen said. At this moment, he needed the help of the 6-spine coiling dragon and the Black King. Even so, they might not be able to win this battle. At least, he wouldn't be slaughtered like a stray dog. In the blink of an eye, 2 figures, one black and one gold, appeared soundlessly beside Jiang Chen. The Black King and the 6-spine coiling dragon glanced at each other and stood next to Jiang Chen. Oh, these 2 people are stronger than you, but do you think that you can shake my position with just a few of you? Haha, what wishful thinking. Quang Heng didn't care. Black King's power had reached the peak of the star state. Meanwhile, 6-spine coiling dragon's power had reached the half-cosmic cloud state. His combat power was extraordinary. It had been a long time since it left the mountain. This time, the 6-spine coiling dragon's power reached the half-step cosmic cloud state. Even Jiang Chen was shocked. It seemed this guy had indeed improved by leaps and bounds. Even if I can't kill you, don't even think about suppressing me. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes, brimming with confidence. With the help of the Black King and the 6-spine coiling dragon, he would not be as passive in this battle as before. Having confidence is a good thing. However, if you're blindly confident, then you're just being arrogant. To me, the few of you are nothing more than grass. As Quang Heng stepped forward, the world darkened and thunder rumbled. If not for the fact that Jiang Chen had used a formation to erase this part of the world, the entire Great Tang would have been shaken. How would you know if you don't try? Black King, Liuji, prepare to fight to the death. In today's battle, only death awaits. Jiang Chen immediately held his saber horizontally and pointed it at Quang Heng. His heart was incomparably solemn. In this battle, what awaited him was only life and death. There were no more chances. The winner was king and the loser was a bandit. This was the final choice. Yes, The two nodded and spoke in unison. The three of them formed an encirclement around Quang Hang. You're like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Accept your death, a bunch of useless people. Quang Hang sneered. Even though he was fighting 1 against 3, his momentum was still overwhelming. His fists and palms carried rumbling wind and lightning. Roar, roar! The six-spine coiling dragon instantly returned to its original form and charged to the top of the sky to fight Quang Hang. Jiang Chen and the Black King followed closely behind. As the blades clashed, Jiang Chen and the others used their final trump cards. They couldn't afford to lose this battle. The Black King and the six-spine coiling dragon were telepathically connected with Jiang Chen. Hence, their teamwork was flawless. Ordinary masters couldn't stop them at all. In addition, the six-spine coiling dragon was a half-step cosmic cloud state. This battle was rather intense and explosive. The more Jiang Chen fought, the more excited he became. His eyes were filled with unparalleled determination. At this moment, even the world was shaking. Even Quang Hang didn't dare to be careless. After all, the six-spine coiling dragon was a genuine half-step cosmic cloud state. Hence, Quang Hang had to take this battle seriously and end it quickly. Otherwise, his opponents might have the upper hand. After all, the six-spine coiling dragon was a genuine half-step cosmic cloud state. Jiang Chen and the Black King's power were on par with 2 half-step cosmic cloud states. Hence, Quang Hang had to take this battle seriously and end it quickly. Otherwise, his opponents might have the upper hand. However, a cosmic cloud state was still a cosmic cloud state after all. The power and dominance Quang Hang displayed completely crushed the three. Even the six-spine coiling dragon couldn't compare. His unrestrained battle intent soared into the sky. Quang Hang punched out to his heart's content. Very few people could fight with him in such a balanced manner. The six-spine coiling dragon circled in the sky and was responsible for the upper part. Meanwhile, Jiang Chen and the Black King attacked from the lower part. Quang Hang fought intensely. In an instant, the battle became white-hot. However, Jiang Chen knew that his opponent hadn't used his full power yet. The terror of a cosmic cloud state wasn't something he could imagine. He only temporarily stabilized the situation. To kill Quang Hang, Jiang Chen knew it was almost impossible. Therefore, his only thought now was to leave this place as soon as possible and escape from the Great Tang. Moreover, he didn't plan to stay here any longer. He planned to go to the Kuei Wood Star to investigate the mysterious Green On clan. At this moment, Jiang Chen only wanted to escape from Quang Hang's control. Although the three of them were fighting, they used their full power while Quang Hang was just taking a stroll. The difference was obvious. The stronger the opponent, the more serious Jiang Chen would be. If he used his full power, the opponent might just be scratching an itch. He couldn't be careless. Chen Lu's heart was pounding from the side. The battle between the three seemed to have been decided. Only Quang Hang knew that this battle had just begun. Green Dragon Breath. The six-spine coiling dragon's roar shook the sky. Cold rays shot out from its mouth like sharp swords, piercing through the void with great power. Quang Hang raised one hand to the sky, and with a palm strike, he instantly destroyed the dragon breath of the six-ridged coiling dragon. He turned around to face the six-ridged coiling dragon, and with a flying kick, he stepped on the six-ridged coiling dragon. The six-ridged coiling dragon trembled, and it felt like a mountain was pressing down on its body, making it unable to move. Star-seizing hand. Jiang Chen looked straight ahead and unleashed his full strength. Boundless star energy was condensed. His palm reached the sky and fell down from the sky, like a heavenly punishment, pressing down on Quang Hang. Quang Hang frowned, his face gloomy. This scoundrel had quite a few tricks up his sleeve. This star-seizing hand was so terrifying that not even he dared to underestimate it. But what made Quang Hang confident was that Jiang Chen was too weak. He simply couldn't use the full power of the star-seizing hand. Die for me! Quang Hang roared. He soared into the sky, his palm wind clashing with Jiang Chen's star-seizing hand. Jiang Chen and Quang Hang were both forced back. Jiang Chen's face was as pale as paper, but Quang Hang was also forced back 2 steps, his eyes brimming with shock. What a good star-seizing hand. You really have some tricks up your sleeves. Since you've completely enraged me, I will make sure all of you die here today. Quang Hang was enraged, but he didn't panic. He roared and soared into the sky, fighting against the three of them again. But this time, he wasn't as calm as before. He wanted to use all his methods to kill the three of them, not giving them the slightest chance. Chapter 51-58. There was no need to doubt Quang Heng's power. There was no need to mention how terrifying a cosmic cloud state was. With such a powerful force, the three of them were no match for him at all. A powerful pressure loomed over everyone's head. Although Chen Lu was extremely worried, there was nothing she could do at this moment. If this continued, it would only make their situation more difficult. If Brother Jiang Chen had given him the Waterleaf treasure book, perhaps the situation wouldn't have happened. However, it was too late to say anything now. The Ink Feather Sword sect was a terrifying existence. Back then, it had been expelled from Tianqian Star because it had killed too many people. Now, it had made a comeback and risked its life. If it wasn't for the Water Chestnut treasure book, it probably wouldn't have appeared here. It was useless to say anything now. Quang Heng's counterattack made everyone's scalp tingle. Jiang Chen felt the same, but he never regretted it. After all, he didn't expect this battle at all. The three of them fought for a long time, and their situation was getting worse. No one knew what would happen in the end, but at least the Black King and the Six-Spine Coiling Dragon were connected to Jiang Chen's life. If he was in danger, the Black King and the Six-Spine Coiling Dragon wouldn't be able to escape death. "Hold him back, I'll set up the formation," Jiang Chen said. At this moment, it was difficult for them to move forward. They could only find a way to survive in the cracks. It was unknown whether they could guarantee their survival, but he had no other choice. "Yes, Master." The Black King and the Six-Spine Coiling Dragon were both risking their lives to charge forward. They were unstoppable and faced Quang Heng head-on. Although they knew they couldn't win, they had to buy time for their master. Jiang Chen retreated in order to advance. He began to set up the formation. This time, with the Shura Sword formation, Jiang Chen didn't know to what extent he could unleash it. However, he could only try it as a last resort now. The current Heavenly Dragon Sword was no longer the same Heavenly Dragon Sword as before. Moreover, not only did Jiang Chen recast the Heavenly Dragon Sword, he even forged the 36 Divine Swords into peak 8th level Divine Weapons. With the peak 9th level Divine Weapon Heavenly Dragon Sword, the result would probably be different. However, Jiang Chen didn't dare to be careless. After all, the opponent was a cosmic cloud state. He didn't have the slightest confidence. He would be satisfied if he could force the opponent back. Their current goal was not to kill Quang Heng, but to escape from him. That was the most important thing. A bunch of ants. Even the light of a grain of rice dares to compete with the brilliance of the moon. Your doomsday is coming. Today, none of you will be able to escape. Quang Heng sneered. His momentum was unstoppable. No one could compete with him. Jiang Chen was extremely shocked by his domineering aura. A cosmic cloud state was indeed extraordinary. This kind of power was enough to dominate the world. This Quang Heng was too difficult to deal with. Jiang Chen didn't dare to be careless. The Six-Spine Coiling Dragon and the Black King had already used everything they had. Despite so, they still couldn't stop Quang Heng's momentum. Their injuries were getting more and more serious, and their footsteps were getting heavier. Every step meant that their injuries were getting worse. It meant that their situation was getting worse. And Jiang Chen was their only hope. Jiang Chen didn't have any distractions in his mind. Although he was shocked, he didn't panic. He didn't have any other choice. This guy had targeted him, and he could only blame it on his bad luck. Even the star-picking palm couldn't do anything to him. It could only force him to retreat. However, Jiang Chen's strength was obviously not enough to completely overwhelm his opponent. Instead, he was continuously attacked by his opponent, and his chances of winning were low. Jiang Chen's means weren't weak, but under absolute power, there was nothing fancy about it. Jiang Chen was furious. If he was a half-step cosmic cloud state, perhaps defeating Quang Heng wouldn't be a problem. However, how could it be that easy to break through to the cosmic cloud state? Half-step cosmic cloud state was a mountain waiting for him to climb. Jiang Chen had never thought of himself as the son of destiny. His strength was closely related to his hard work. The heavenly Tao rewarded the diligent. This was Jiang Chen's true method. However, the cosmic cloud state was too difficult. Even though the Chen family worked hard for 100,000 years, the result was the same. The Chen family's ancestor was still stuck at the peak of the 9th level of the star state. In order to break through, not only did he need opportunities, but he also needed exceptional conditions. Jiang Chen definitely couldn't break through to the half-step cosmic cloud state in a short period of time. He just reached the 9th level of the star state. His power had just stabilized, so it would be extremely difficult to break through again. This was their last chance, and they could only fight to the death. Currently, Jiang Chen's speed of setting up the formation was extremely fast. In just 10 breaths of time, he had finished setting up the formation. However, at the same time, the 6-spine coiling dragon had been repelled and its body was covered with injuries. It had blocked Quang Heng's attack 3 times, causing him to be covered with cuts and bruises. The Black King was fine, but his power was weaker than the 6-spine coiling dragon. He was forced back again and again. This was the first time they encountered such an opponent. The Black King knew how insane a cosmic cloud state was. He could only place everyone's hopes on his master. Activate! Jiang Chen roared. The Azura sword formation rose with the wind, instantly draining more than half of Jiang Chen's Genesis Qi. Endless sword shadows began to gather. The familiar smell appeared again, but this time, the Azura sword formation was much stronger than before. It was because of this that Jiang Chen placed his hopes on it. He hoped that the Azura sword formation could trap Quang Heng. That way, he would have a chance to rush out. Not bad. This sword formation is indeed quite interesting. Quang Heng frowned. His expression was rather solemn. The Azura sword formation was clearly troublesome for him, but for Quang Heng, it was only troublesome. It would be far from as easy as he imagined to trap him. Chen Lu clenched her fists. Her heart was pounding. Brother Jiang Chen might have endless means, but for Quang Heng, one move was enough to force him into such a sorry state. This was the stance of a powerhouse, sweeping everything before them with their sabers. Unparalleled Overlord Sword. The sword qi in Quang Heng's hand swept across the sky, causing the surrounding space to ripple. Jiang Chen continued to control the Azura sword formation, but the vibrations within the formation grew more and more intense. Quang Heng was also a sword expert. Sword light wreaked havoc, changing the color of the sky and earth. He constantly clashed with the Azura sword formation, each strike stronger than the last. Master, what should we do now? Chapter 51-59. The 6-spine coiling dragon wasn't much better. However, its body was stronger and its recovery speed was astonishing. Despite so, it was already in a precarious situation. Go. Let's go. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. He was afraid that something bad might happen if he delayed any longer. The only thing he could think of now was to leave this place as soon as possible. Jiang Chen pulled Chen Lu and quickly retreated. However, there was a cold breeze behind them. You want to leave? You probably don't have that luck. Your sword formation is great, but in the face of absolute power, all means are useless. You are very strong, but I'm a cosmic cloud state. In my hands, you're just a piece of cake. Don't try to challenge my bottom line. You're not worthy. Quang Heng roared and pierced the sky with his sword. The Shura sword formation was broken. Jiang Chen's face was getting worse. Am I really going to die here today? One thought heaven. Jiang Chen used the spirit will chant, and the terrifying power of the planet shrouded Quang Heng's head. Quang Heng furrowed his brows, but it was obvious that he was pushed back. Jiang Chen seized the opportunity and left the heavenly star. A few seconds later, Quang Heng regained his consciousness. His eyes were filled with fury. Damn it! Let's see where you can run to. Quang Heng's speed was shocking. In just a few breaths, he caught up to Jiang Chen. A cosmic cloud state had too many things that Jiang Chen couldn't compare to. Even with the Sky Ascension Stairway, Jiang Chen couldn't compare to them. Below the cosmic cloud state, Jiang Chen's speed might be invincible, but after reaching the cosmic cloud state, his speed would change. He could travel 10,000 miles in an instant. Jiang Chen wanted to use the Zhonglan God boat, but it was too late. Quang Heng had caught up. You really don't understand the speed of a cosmic cloud state. Cosmic warp isn't enough to describe it. My speed isn't something you can match. Otherwise, how do you think cosmic cloud states can travel between countless cosmic cloud realms? Quang Heng was like a god, standing proudly in front of Jiang Chen and the others. In the starry sky of the universe, there were countless stars shining brightly. There was no end to it. However, the sky made them unable to hide. Brother Jiang Chen, I'm afraid we won't be able to leave. Chen Lu murmured. You're really haunting me. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and said, but he was really helpless now. The suppression of strength was the most important reason. Even if Jiang Chen had 1,000 tricks up his sleeves, he could only be restrained now. Jiang Chen deeply felt that his own strength was insufficient. In the eternal world, where experts were as numerous as the clouds, you never knew what kind of opponent you would run into next. The power of my astral souls can lend you a helping hand. But whether or not you can force him to retreat would depend on your own capabilities. Su Moer's voice sounded in Jiang Chen's mind. In the Buddha prison palace, Su Moer stood under the golden cassia tree and said with a solemn voice, Jiang Chen and her were interdependent. If Jiang Chen died, she would never be able to appear in this world again. Su Moer had just recovered some astral soul power. This was their last hope. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up and said in a deep voice, the power of my astral souls is too tyrannical. You have to endure it no matter what. If you can't endure it, or if you are unable to withstand the power of my astral souls, only death awaits you. Su Moer was worried. I can't care that much now. I can only take the risk. Jiang Chen sucked in a deep breath and prepared himself for anything. Come on. As soon as Jiang Chen finished speaking, he felt as though a mountain was pressing down on his shoulders. In his mind, a soul storm was raging, as though it wanted to tear his soul apart. I can only lend my astral soul power to you temporarily. Jiang Chen, take care of yourself. Su Moer's beautiful eyes flickered. This time, she had bet everything. If Jiang Chen lost, she would vanish into thin air. They had no other way. This was their only chance. Ugh! Jiang Chen roared. His voice was like thunder, piercing through the universe. Do you still want to struggle pointlessly? I'd like to see how you're going to escape from me. Quang Heng was incomparably confident. In his eyes, Jiang Chen was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Even if he struggled, he wouldn't be able to change his fate. Jiang Chen didn't expect that Su Moer's astral soul power would be so strong that it could completely suppress him. Moreover, she was a quasi-emperor in the past. Although that was a matter of the previous era, it didn't change how strong she was. Although her soul power hadn't recovered much, it was enough to make Jiang Chen suffer. Jiang Chen felt that it would be extremely difficult to suppress Su Moer's astral soul power. It was even harder than fighting against Quang Heng. Endless pain tormented Jiang Chen. Su Moer's astral soul power was like a sharp knife, piercing into his mind. Jiang Chen had no way to hide. Damn it, seems like I'm really going to be glorious this time. Jiang Chen roared in anger, struggling in his heart. The spiritual storm in his sea of consciousness was struggling even more, merging and controlling two different astral souls. Jiang Chen's strength was still too low. He hadn't even reached the cosmic cloud realm. This was the biggest drawback. Jiang Chen's willpower was very strong, but this didn't mean that he could withstand the terrifying astral soul power of Su Moer. The two of them were originally incompatible. Although Su Moer didn't resist, lending him the astral soul power was a heaven-defying act. However, Jiang Chen was never someone who would give up easily. His heart and soul had always been fighting. Finally, what Jiang Chen didn't expect was that at this moment, the leaves of Cinnamomum cassia flew and enveloped Jiang Chen's head. Countless golden cassia leaves formed a huge shadow, tightly wrapping Jiang Chen within it. Jiang Chen felt his soul sublimate in an instant, and the astral soul power of Su Moer was easily absorbed by him. Countless golden cassia leaves surrounded Jiang Chen, emitting a golden glow. It was as though he was holy. Jiang Chen was indescribably surprised. Even Quang Heng, who was at the side, had a bad premonition as he frowned. What the hell is this fellow doing? The appearance of these golden cassia leaves caused Quang Heng to feel extremely uneasy. Could it be that this fellow really had a trump card? Just as Quang Heng was thinking about it, a violent tornado appeared in the sky. Jiang Chen stood on top of the tornado, and the golden cassia leaves wrapped around Jiang Chen's body. What a strange feeling. Chapter 5160. However, Jiang Chen knew that this was only temporary. Su Moer had lent it to him. Even so, Jiang Chen still felt a domineering desire to compete with the heavens. Even if he was facing Quang Heng, he still wanted to win in one battle. Cinnamomum cassia is indeed an existence that even the heavenly emperor treasures. Jiang Chen's heart was in turmoil. At this time, it was time to determine the winner. If I don't enter hell, who will? Divine will art hell with a single thought. Jiang Chen's expression was solemn and calm. Suddenly, he opened his eyes. The boundless power of the astral soul spread out like an unstoppable tide. No, this is impossible. Quang Heng's expression changed. He quickly retreated, but how could his speed be faster than the expansion of the astral soul? Quang Heng's pupils constricted and his face turned pale. His mind felt like it was being torn apart. His soul was in extreme pain. Instantly, he defended and defended his mind. This was Quang Heng's subconscious preparation because he could already feel the suffocating aura of death. No one could stay out of it. Quang Heng knew that Jiang Chen was like a devil at this moment, like the master of hell. The aura of death was spreading across the heavens and earth. The surrounding void was locked down by Jiang Chen. Quang Heng's heart trembled. Since when did Jiang Chen become so powerful? Wasn't this too terrifying? Was this still Jiang Chen? A moment ago, he was still full of confidence. But now, he was forced to retreat by Jiang Chen. The surging pressure made Quang Heng's heart feel like it was being stabbed by a knife. He couldn't believe it. However, the truth was in front of him. His soul had nowhere to hide. Jiang Chen's eyes were like the eyes of the Grim Reaper. The power of the astral soul could kill without mercy. Fortunately, Quang Heng's strength was strong enough. Moreover, he had already broken through the power of the astral soul. Under his constant retreat, Quang Heng managed to block the attack of Jiang Chen's astral soul. Pooh! Quang Heng spat out a mouthful of blood. At this moment, he had completely lost his previous elegance. He retreated like a stray dog, his eyes filled with terror. Just a moment ago, he had been insufferably arrogant. But now, he had been reduced to such a sorry state. Chen Lu even blinked her eyes in complete disbelief. Jiang Chen's attack was something even a cosmic cloud state couldn't defend against. Quang Heng was scared out of his wits. He had no choice but to flee. Jiang Chen, sooner or later, I will seek revenge on you. I will not rest until you die. Quang Heng's roar echoed in the sky. His figure had already disappeared from the starry sky. From his roar, it could be confirmed that he was heavily injured and had already fled. Right now, he was like a stray dog, disappearing without a trace. The Black King and the six-spine coiling dragon glanced at each other. They couldn't hide their joy. Their master was too strong. At the crucial moment, he actually repelled a cosmic cloud state like Quang Heng. This was unbelievable. However, in an instant, Jiang Chen also fell down. He became extremely weak. His qi was completely gone. Chen Lu quickly caught brother Jiang Chen's figure. Otherwise, he would have fallen into the endless abyss in space. Right now, they had already left Tian Chen's star and were floating in the starry sky. In the endless starry sky, below them was an endless abyss. No one knew how deep the abyss was, but once they fell into it, they would never be able to come back alive. Jiang Chen's body was also heavily injured because Sumo's astral soul power was too powerful. He risked everything to carry her astral soul power and barely used the spirit will chant to force Quang Heng to retreat. If Quang Heng could continue, Jiang Chen didn't even know who would survive in the end. Jiang Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head in Chen Lu's arms. Looking at her heartbroken face, his tears were about to fall. Don't worry, I won't die yet. I'm just too heavily injured. Jiang Chen's voice was weak. Look at how you are. Stop talking. Chen Lu angrily hugged brother Jiang Chen tightly. Her heart was filled with complicated emotions. Jiang Chen rejoiced. If it wasn't for Cinnamomum Cash's power, he might have been crushed by Sumo's astral soul power before he could even fight Quang Heng. We can't stay here for long. If Quang Heng makes a comeback, we'll be finished. Don't cry. Let's go to the Kue Wood planet now. Jiang Chen struggled to stand up. His eyes were solemn and serious. The road ahead was long and rainy. He couldn't stop because there were still countless people waiting for him. Thank you, Jiang Chen said to Su Mo, who was in the Buddha prison palace. Su Mo was very weak now. He had borrowed the power of her astral soul and had already recovered a lot. Now, her situation had worsened. If you die, I won't be able to survive either. I still have to count on you to save me. Some more chuckled. All right, I might have to fall into a deep slumber again. I might not wake up in a short period of time. You're on your own. Goodbye. After saying that, Sumo Air fell into a deep sleep. Just like a sleeping beauty, he fell asleep under the osmanthus tree. Jiang Chen nodded. It seemed he had to hurry to the Kuei wood planet. If Quang Hing didn't stop him, perhaps he would be there soon. The Tianchen planet was definitely not safe, but he would still go back. Right now, it was more important to go to the Kuei wood planet with the Green Light Race's Azure Monkey. Jiang Chen guessed that there would be the astral power he had been dreaming of there. If he could get another star core, then breaking through to the half-step cosmic cloud state or even the cosmic cloud state wouldn't be a problem. His breakthrough was much stronger than most people's, and this was all thanks to the stellar astral. Without the stellar astral, it would be impossible for Jiang Chen's cultivation base to increase again. Therefore, the energy of the stellar astral was his ultimate goal. Since Senior Long Futu chose him, he definitely wouldn't disappoint him. Only by becoming stronger could he have a foothold in the eternal world. He believed that Feng Air wouldn't be far from him. Black King, Coiling Dragon, both of you have suffered severe injuries. Hurry up and take a good rest. Leave the rest to me. This time, it's all thanks to you too. Jiang Chen nodded. Master, you're too kind. For Master, the Black King will do his best until death. Coiling Dragon understands. It seems my choice was right. From now on, Coiling Dragon is willing to follow Master wholeheartedly for thousands of generations. The six-spine Coiling Dragon said. Before this, he was just trying to see if Jiang Chen would be able to defeat Jiang Chen. After going through so many battles, he felt that Jiang Chen was like an incomparably mysterious peerless expert. Jiang Chen was always able to surpass his imagination. From now on, he would never leave Jiang Chen's side. Okay, you two go rest. It's time to go to the Kuei wood planet. Azure Monkey, lead the way. Chapter 5161. In the Buddha prison palace, Jiang Chen was constantly recovering his power. This battle consumed too much of his energy, but at the same time, he gained a lot. It was unimaginable that he could survive against a cosmic cloud state. Jiang Chen was already prepared to die. After all, the opponent was too powerful. It was pure luck that he could survive. Jiang Chen's power had completely stabilized at the level 9 star state and was gradually increasing. However, he was still far from reaching the half-step cosmic cloud state. If he didn't have some great fortune, perhaps Jiang Chen would need at least a few thousand years or even tens of thousands of years to reach the half-step cosmic cloud state. No one knew where the final destination of cultivation was. Keep cultivating, keep improving yourself, keep changing yourself, and keep improving yourself. This was Jiang Chen's truest thought. Only when he became stronger would he be able to sweep across the universe and find his son. The strong preyed on the weak. This was the law of survival since ancient times. After this battle, he was even more clear on what strength meant. Without strength, you could only be a stepping stone for others. You could only become a vassal of others. Jiang Chen focused on recovering his power. Time flowed very slowly in the Buddha prison palace. Jiang Chen had been cultivating for a few months, but only a few days had passed in the outside world. Master, we've arrived at planet Kuei Mu. Di Luo's voice appeared next to Jiang Chen's ears. Jiang Chen slowly opened his eyes. They were finally here. Brother Jiang Chen, have we arrived at planet Kuei Mu? Chen Lu blinked her eyes and asked. We're here. Jiang Chen said with a smile. When the two of them appeared outside the Zhonglan divine boat, they were shocked by the scene in front of them. This place was too beautiful. It was so beautiful that it was suffocating, so beautiful that it was hard to imagine. It was like a graceful swan in the sky, and after seeing it, one would be unable to extricate themselves from it. Jiang Chen stood at the bow of the Zhonglang Divine Continent ship and looked up. There was a boundless sea of stars surrounding the Kuei Wood Star. Looking from afar, the Kuei Wood Star was surrounded by some asteroids. The dark universe was filled with twinkling stars. The radiance of the stars was shining in the night sky. The depths of the universe became deeper and more mysterious. No one knew what kind of existence existed in the depths of the universe, and no one knew what it was like between the heavens and the earth. There seemed to be some kind of connection between all things in the universe, and it also seemed like between the heavens and the earth, which made countless people feel powerless. Standing in this vast and boundless universe, Jiang Chen's heart was filled with turbulent waves. He was filled with shock and it made him feel refreshed. The galaxy belt was like a beam of light between the heaven and earth. It was boundless and unfathomable. Those colorful planets lingered around Xueqi star and constantly rotated, making Xueqi star the king of the stars. It was filled with a majestic and domineering feeling. What made Jiang Chen most amazed was that around Xueqi star, there was an extremely strong vortex. On the surface of the entire Xueqi star, it seemed to form a huge protective net. This layer of protective net wrapped the Xueqi star tightly, but it was also full of light. On the dark brown Xueqi star, there was a huge gale vortex. Clouds and mist lingered, constantly hovering above the Xueqi star. The vortex stirred up the 9 heavens. Even standing outside the Xueqi star, Jiang Chen could see it clearly. This showed how big the vortex of the Xueqi star was. The size of Xueqi star seemed to be no less than Tianqian star, but the environment here was not suitable for human habitation. So there were very few people here. Not everyone could live on the Xueqi star. The huge vortex was like an eye, constantly flashing on the surface of the Xueqi star. It's so beautiful. Chen Lu couldn't help but sigh. She had never seen such a beautiful planet. Even Tianqian star was far inferior to it. It was because of its mystery and uniqueness that this planet stood out among the thousands of planets around it. Beautiful, right? This is my hometown. Isn't it beautiful? This is my hometown. No matter who sees it, they will be shocked because my hometown is too beautiful. Almost no other planet can compare to it. However, its environment is also very harsh. A long time ago, our Xueqi Jupiter star wasn't like this. At that time, everything was full of vitality. Grass was long and birds were flying, mountains and rivers were flowing endlessly. Unfortunately, because of the war countless years ago, the ecological environment of the Xueqi Jupiter star was destroyed, causing the originally very comfortable Xueqi Jupiter star to become riddled with holes. Although Xueqi Wood planet still looks very beautiful from outside the planet, the true environment of Xueqi Wood planet is rather harsh. It's almost uninhabitable. If it weren't for the fact that our Green-On tribe's resistance has always been very strong since young, we wouldn't have been able to live here for generations. Furthermore, our ancestor has left behind instructions that we must wait for our ancestor. Di Luo looked at Jiang Chen with anticipation. To him, Jiang Chen was like a savior. He was someone who came to bring luck to the Xueqi star. To think that a single battle could cause an entire planet to be riddled with holes. Just how strong is this person? Jiang Chen sighed in his heart. It seemed like he couldn't imagine that the peerless experts who were as powerful as the heavens and earth were the true rulers of this world. Even a cosmic cloud state like Quanghang couldn't destroy the Xueqi star in a single war. It seems that the Xueqi star really has an unknown secret, Chen Lu said in a low voice. After hundreds of millions of years, such a beautiful planet had actually been abandoned by everyone. If it wasn't for the fact that the current Xueqi Wood planet was so barren and had lost too many resources, it wouldn't have fallen to such a state. That's right. There's a limit to one's strength. Even if our Green-On clan works hard, we can't change anything. Xueqi Wood star is still in such a crisis. It's impossible for anyone below the star level to stay here. Even those at the peak of the star level are constantly facing the threat of death. Di Luo said solemnly. His eyes were filled with deep fear and helplessness. Let's go and have a look first. Jiang Chen waved his hand and the three of them entered the Xueqi Wood star. As soon as they entered, Jiang Chen felt a terrifying wind attack. It was as though the void was being torn apart. The powerful wind was probably at the level of tearing apart a stellar state being. Chapter 5162. These wind blades are comparable to the power of a 7th-grade divine weapon. If one's body can't withstand it, it's very easy to be torn apart. Chen Lu said cautiously. That's right. These wind blades are enough to tear apart mountains and rocks. Many of the mountains are barren and flattened by these wind blades. Because the Yuan Qi layer on the surface of the Xueqi Wood star was destroyed countless years ago, it resulted in countless turbulence in the universe, wreaking havoc on the surface of the Xueqi Wood star without the protection of the Yuan Qi layer. The gravitational force of the Xueqi Wood star has also become stronger and stronger. This is something that many people can't adapt to. Di Luo said in a low voice. No wonder. Jiang Chen nodded his head and said. At this moment, lightning flashed in the sky that was filled with dark clouds. The lightning was extremely bright and carried a terrifying force. Even a huge mountain top was split into two. The surrounding mountains were scorched black. The plants and trees on the mountains were instantly turned into ashes. The scene was horrifying and horrifying. This is already comparable to the full power attack of a 7th-level Star Realm expert. Is this common on the Xueqi star? Qin Lu's expression changed. Even she had to take a detour. This place was too dangerous. It made people feel fearful at all times. If they were not careful, wouldn't they turn into ashes? Di Luo's expression was filled with shock. If it was him, he would have been turned into ashes just now. In this land that was filled with danger, no one could stay out of it. This Xueqi star wasn't a place that anyone would be willing to come to. Even some weaker Star Realm wanderers wouldn't dare to come here recklessly. The outcome might be death. That's right. Otherwise, why do you think no one is willing to step on such a beautiful planet? Di Luo smiled bitterly. The environment here is too vile. To be able to survive here, one would need a lot of courage and strength. Jiang Chen said, survival of the fittest. Those who could survive here were destined to be 1 in 10,000 experts. Stella-class powerhouses already possessed the ability to wander the universe. However, the Green-On race had always been guarding this place. It was all for the sake of waiting for their ancestors to return and remove the seals and restrictions. The Green-On race was originally a very intelligent race. However, they had been pushed to the extreme and could never leave the Xueqi planet. If they left, they would definitely die within 1,000 years. But if they stayed here, even though it would be dangerous, they would be able to live for a long time. Furthermore, this was their hometown. Although there were many dangers here, the people who lived here were already used to it. Looking from afar, many places were barren and scorched black. Some places only had land left, but there were also very few places with oases. But as far as the eye could see, almost all of them were in the mountains and lakes, places that could avoid the lightning and wind. In this place, many of the plants were already like iron trees. Even in the face of the power of the wind, they could still stand tall. It was truly rare. This is the Santos Plate, the territory of the creeping spine earth dragon. It is also one of the 3 major races of the Xueqi planet. The creeping spine earth dragon is an earth dragon with super strong defense. It lives underground all year round, so it can easily avoid natural disasters that come from outside the earth. It is also one of the formidable enemies of the Green-On race. Di Luo said in a low voice, clearly rather fearful. Flying is a luxury for them, but it doesn't mean that they can't fly. Even if some people fly over their heads, the creeping spine earth dragon won't take the initiative to attack. However, it's hard to say if they encounter someone with a perverse temperament. Their strength isn't inferior to our Green-On race. 3 major races? What about the other race? Jiang Chen asked. The other race is the ice bear. They live under the glaciers all year round and aren't disturbed by the outside world. Therefore they can travel under the ice. 30% of the entire Xueqi planet is covered with water, so they are also very free. They have always maintained a neutral stance. Neither us nor the creek spine earth dragon could make them join in. However, the ice bear tribe is very cautious, and they are always on guard against everyone. That's why they rarely come into contact with us. Di Luo said with a serious expression. After the mountain range in front, we will reach the territory of the Green-On race. Di Luo was a little excited at the mention of the Green-On race. After all, he had not been back for a long time. After he left the Xueqi planet, he was captured by the interstellar wanderers. Therefore, returning to the Xueqi planet made him very excited. Finally, he was at his doorstep. He no longer had to worry about being hunted down. Let's go and take a look at your place first, Jiang Chen said. Just as the 3 of them were about to leap over the Santos Plate, a dragon roar was heard all of a sudden. The roar was as loud as thunder, resounding in everyone's ears. The roar was too loud, resounding through the clouds. Jiang Chen couldn't help but frown. Di Luo, who was only at the 5th level of the Star Realm, clenched his teeth. His face was pale as he covered his ears tightly, his eyes wide open. Seems like some people don't welcome us, Jiang Chen said coldly. Then, the ground started to crack. The ground within 10 li of the perimeter seemed to have been turned upside down. 2 slender giant beasts flew out from the ground and into the sky. They had huge bodies, huge dragon heads and a single horn. They were slightly bloated, but they were definitely not fat. Their bodies were huge and terrifying. They stood with their heads held high. They were thousands of meters tall, covering the sun and the sky. Oh no, it's the creeping spine earth dragon. Di Luo shuddered, his expression ugly. These two fellas don't look simple. Chen Lu said. Someone is blocking our way. Di Luo said quietly, looking at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was now his pillar of support, the ancestor of his dreams, the ancestor that could bring hope to the Green On race. Damned monkey, I didn't expect your people to dare come to our place. This time, no one can save you. Prepare to die. A towering creeping spine earth dragon swayed his huge body, his two hind claws on the ground, his front claws like a gorilla, beating his chest, displaying his strength and ferocity. Elder Di Luo, the Green On race has no feud with you. Why did you ambush us here? Chapter 5163. No enmity? What a joke. Your Green On tribe has already killed 3 people from my D-Dragon tribe. What other explanation do you want? Today, I will use you as a sacrifice to the heavens to deal with our D-Dragon tribe. Your Green On tribe is too insolent. If I don't teach you a lesson, do you really think that our Earth Dragon tribe has no one left? A bunch of rabble. I want to see where your Green On tribe's confidence comes from. What right do you have to kill our Creek Ridge Earth Dragon? This Xueqi Wood Star hasn't reached the point where you can call the shots. Duo Luo said confidently, his heart filled with rage. Our Creek Ridge Earth Dragon tribe wasn't willing to start a fight. However, your Green On tribe has gone too far. Hence, today's enmity must be avenged. Faced with Duo Luo's rage, Di Luo was at his wit's end. He could only place his hopes on his ancestor. Jiang Chen was also puzzled. It seemed like the Earth Dragon tribe and the Green On tribe had quite a bit of enmity. Otherwise, how could they have been intercepted by them on the way? And from the looks of it, Di Luo still didn't know that the two tribes were already on bad terms. No matter what the relationship between the two tribes is, it has nothing to do with me. If you leave now, I can treat it as if nothing has happened. Jiang Chen said indifferently. After all, he was now a 9th-level star-level powerhouse. These 2 Earth Dragon tribe members couldn't possibly ignore his existence. Who do you think you are? You still want to save face from me? You really don't know your place. Our Earth Dragon tribe isn't something you can afford to offend. If you know what's good for you, scram now. We only want the life of this Green On tribe member. If you insist on opposing us, don't blame us for being merciless. Duo Luo said coldly. His huge eyes were like a clear spring. His body was so huge that it covered the sun and sky. It made one's heart feel stifled. Chen Lu knew that the strength of these 2 Creek Ridge Earth Dragons wasn't something she could handle. It seemed like the Xueqi Wood Star wasn't a peaceful place either. Ancestor, Di Luo said solemnly. Don't worry, I'm here. Jiang Chen said indifferently. This time, he was here to search for the power of the stars. No matter who it was, no one would be able to obstruct his path. Be it the creeping spine earth dragon or the earth serpent, Jiang Chen would kill any god or Buddha that obstructs him. Think carefully before you speak. If we really fight, I'm afraid you won't even have the chance to escape. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Otherwise, you'll have to be prepared to collect your own corpses. Jiang Chen said with a smile. His calm expression made the people of the Valley Spine Earth Dragon tribe laugh coldly. Do you really think that you can do as you please in my Earth Dragon tribe's territory? Do you really think no one can deal with you? Kid, you're still too young. You can't handle the matters of the Green On tribe. Leave it to Uncle. Uncle can guarantee that you won't have to worry about anything. But, if you insist on meddling in other people's business, then we can only meet on the battlefield. Duo Luo glanced at Jiang Chen. This fellow didn't seem to be someone easy to deal with. They were both at the star level 9. If they wanted to make Jiang Chen suffer, they would have to go through some trouble. Of course, if they could subdue the enemy without fighting, wouldn't that be great? You better think carefully. Are you going to be with the Green On tribe, or are you going to be enemies with the Earth Dragon tribe? Think carefully before you speak. Otherwise, there's no medicine for regret in this world. If you don't want to die, you'd better listen to me obediently. Your choice will determine whether or not you can continue living. If you're courting death, I can accompany you to the end. Duo Luo's domineering aura was like an unstoppable mountain as he stepped on the Green Mountain. Why are we still wasting words with him? Elder Duo Luo. This sort of person deserves to die. What an opinionated fellow. We gave him a chance, but he's useless. Why should we waste our breath on him? The other star level 9 Earth Dragon Elder, Dweluan Dong, was disdainful. In his eyes, Elder Duo Luo's actions were completely superfluous. They could have just directly attacked. Could it be that Elder Duo Luo was a match for him? These three weren't their match at all. Elder Duo Luo was too merciful. Since that's the case, then there's nothing more to say. Let's see who's stronger. I'll definitely protect the Green On tribe. Since you guys don't know what's good for you, then I can only send you to Avicii hell. When the time comes, don't say that I didn't give you a chance. Jiang Chen smiled. Stubborn dog, I'll let you see today who's the true overlord here. Dweluan Dong was infuriated from humiliation. This fellow didn't know what was good for him. Even if Elder Duo Luo gave him a chance, he would be useless. Now, both sides were already at daggers drawn, and a huge battle was about to break out. Di Luo was rather nervous. He wasn't sure about his ancestor's strength, but the other side had 2 star level 9 heavens, while Jiang Chen was only 1. They would definitely be on the losing end if they fought. He never would have thought that he would encounter such a situation as soon as he returned. This was too tragic. Before the ancestor could remove the seal, they were already targeted by the Earth Dragon tribe. What should he do? At this time, even if Di Luo ran, it was too late. He couldn't escape their grasp. One had to know that the Earth Dragon tribe wasn't adept at aerial battles. However, their strength lay in domain battles. Within their absolute domain, no one was their match. This was also one of the reasons why they were so powerful. The Green On tribe really found a good helper. From the looks of it, this battle is inevitable. Kid, you don't know what's good for you, getting involved in our battle. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too arrogant. Arrogant people will never be able to become overlords. You'll pay the price for your arrogance. Duo Luo said without batting an eyelid. However, at this time, he was already prepared for battle. He took a step forward, and the surrounding boulders began to shatter. The earth quaked and the mountains swayed. A height of over 1,000 meters was simply indescribable. That's fine. Then I'll stretch my muscles and see how strong you guys are. Jiang Chen smiled. He held his blade horizontally and stood at the peak of the void, unafraid to fight 1 against 2. If he couldn't even beat 2 star level 9 heavens, then his death wouldn't be worth pitying. Jiang Chen didn't think that these two fellows were to be trifled with. However, his battle thirst was ignited. Previously, he had been beaten by Quang Heng to the point of being too sullen. Now that he had met a soft persimmon, how could he not squeeze it? Courting death. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.